Hey Jerks, what's up? Hello, good evening. We're live, I hope. How's everyone? I'm checking out the stream. Let me know if we sound good. We got good sound, all that. A little bit just chill, happy, and pumped up today, I gotta say. Had a nice day today over at the Howie Carr Radio Network again on the Grace Curley Show. Drove in, I just barely made it. I was like 1 minute late. It was just unbelievable how quickly you can get somewhere when you're late. And I shouldn't have been late. It was just Boston, Massachusetts traffic made me late. Had a great interview over there. Definitely did discuss a little bit of last night's interview that Grace brought up. But to my surprise, she had some questions about that clip that's gone a little bit viral about what Michael Morrissey had to say about Sandra Birchboy. If you haven't seen it, definitely check it out. I'm going to play a lot more clips at the end of the show tonight and talk much more about that DA's race and about that interview last night, because there's been a lot of talk today about the interview. A lot of people love her. A lot of people have a little criticism on some of the language she used. I'm going to give you my take, everything, my political expertise on what I think about this race and where it's going. I spoke a little bit on the Grace Curley Show. Check out her podcast. She's got a great podcast on iTunes. She's also on Rumble. And you can also watch their video feed as well on the Howie Carr Radio Network. It's also heard on a bunch of New England radio stations all across New England. WRKO 680 AM in Boston. Had a great time today on the Grace Curley Show. I have a great guest tonight. We're going to review a bunch of video. I have so much video to share. We're going to look at the McAlberts. We might even look at a clip from one of the jurors tonight, a couple of the jurors, actually. There's a lot of stuff going on there. There's so much to cover. I love it tonight that I have just one guest who's a YouTuber who I vibe with. I just like her. She's great. She's phenomenal, especially when we're doing this body language stuff. She always makes me feel chill and relaxed. And it's the kind of show we're going to have tonight. We're going to have some fun and celebrate a little bit. She's been on vacation, and people have been missing her on her YouTube channel. You probably know her. It's at BiancaMMM, at BiancaMMM, as I like to say. But Bianca is phenomenal, and she's been on vacation, so people have been missing her since this verdict came down. So tonight you have her here, and not only that, she delivers. She edited this like special video tonight that we're going to review together. So I'm excited to have her back. If you haven't, make sure you subscribe to her, follow her. We'll put the links in the chat. She's also brought over a poll tonight, which I love. This is phenomenal. She's got a poll for you to answer tonight. So let's listen to the video, and then you can vote on the poll tonight as well. Let's bring her up. Welcome back to the show. Let's hear a lot of love in the chat for our guest tonight. Hey, Bianca, how you doing tonight?
Hey everybody, hi Jurks, hi Mike. It's great to see you, great to be back. Thank you so much for having me back. And I am very excited about tonight's show as well. Still very happy and grateful that we had the verdicts that we did. It was very emotional for me. Every time I watched it that day, I cried every single time. It was like, okay, not crying anymore, then crying again. And just very grateful, relieved, and I haven't been really following this week, so I'm excited to see what you guys have to say about the jurors and everything. And this interview for the McAlberts, I did watch and analyze, and I'm very excited to share with you guys some of my comments and see what you guys think as well. So thanks
I
for
can't
having
wait.
me.
Yeah, I can't wait. And you must be feeling good too, because you got the verdict, and then you went on this like vacation. You were like hanging out in Disney World, right?
Yeah, I was at Disney all week. Like so much fun. It was great. It was my friend's daughter, 7-year-old daughter's birthday. So it was
Oh,
just me, the mom, and the little girl, and we had like
oh,
a magical time.
she must have loved it.
She did. It was great. No stress. Really nice. I'll send you guys some tips later how to do like the perfect Disney vacation. It was really good. We didn't stay at a hotel. We stayed at an Airbnb. The house was big. It had games. We just had a really relaxing time.
Very nice. And now we come back and we get to
The criminal
this
justice
video
system
that you
has let us
provided
down.
tonight. Did I start that? I didn't mean to
It's
start that. I just
this
want
is
to make
how it
sure I get.
does. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
You won't you I'll let you control it. You would
Yes, thank you.
but this is, basically I think a lot of people have already seen this. I think it came out, I don't know, I'd say like 5, 6 days ago at least, but it's the McAlberts, they speak out on ABC News 2020 national television, and it's like the first interview where you see all of these Brian Albert especially, we really don't see him ever, and it's just
Mhm.
fascinating to watch it, and I've been thinking like, one of the shows I'm like, "I gotta get Bianca on just to review these Alberts because this is, stuff just jumped out on me, like, when I was watching it, and John Como, who's a good friend of the show, he's got a little, drama experience and things like that, and he was noting some things he was noticing too. So it just I think that this is, like, fascinating to see them, after the verdict, give this interview. What are your thoughts initially before we start this video, and how do you wanna introduce it?
Yeah, so initially the thoughts are everything they do is very intentional, and even though it in my opinion it wasn't a very smart decision to do this interview, it's very intentional and it's very selfish. The whole message after the interview that I got, it was all about themselves. It's about how it affected their lives, not and another thing is that not once anybody is questioning their initial position regarding Kara Reed after the whole trial, the second trial, after all the testimony, they're not like, you know what? This is a lady that was hanging out with us. Maybe something else happened to him. It wasn't us.
Yeah,
It wasn't her. Maybe he fell, and after she drove away, nobody saw it. But there is no curiosity. There is no wondering what happened to John. There is no emotion about him. There is no individuality about him as a person. It's always the guy, the man, and it's all about them. There is so much in this video. It's funny because whenever I watch a video like this that is small, maybe 8, 10 minutes, I'm like, oh, that's just the same people sitting that way. There's not going to be anything there to analyze. And like you said, things just started jumping at me, and I'm curious to see what you observed as well, Mike, because I know you like body language. And the thing is, I know a lot of people say, oh, body language is silly or it's like a bogus science, but it really isn't. It is proven, like there's a lot of research that most of our communication is nonverbal. It's about our voice, our
totally.
tonality, the way we're looking at people, the way we move our bodies, expression. And it's very easy to understand that with sometimes you have just a gut feeling about somebody. They don't say anything, and it's just a very small portion of communication is actually words. So I think it's always interesting to learn, and that's why I keep learning about it. And just right there in
Yeah,
that
frame.
scene, you guys can see something. I don't
Yeah.
know if I'll tell you. Maybe I'll wait for the slide. But right now, everybody's doing something. I'm gonna tell you a little teaser of body language that I learned is this: deception, right? Lies and body language. It has a lot to do with being comfortable versus being uncomfortable, being open versus being closed, right? It's about discomfort when you are anxious, when your body is not sure, versus I'm comfortable, I'm relaxed, I'm having a great time. So a lot of people say, oh, if I cross my arms, I'm closed off. Not necessarily, but there is a theme here in this picture where everybody is closed off except for Brian Albert. If you see, everybody has their hands gripped. They are covering their groin, which is a sensitive area. So it's kind of like a defensive motion that we do. It's subconscious. Nobody said, hey guys,
Good.
let's sit this way and let's cover our groins. It's
Right.
just the way they're sitting
And
right
then even the
now.
guy's legs, like, it's like Chris Albert kinda like, yeah,
He's like
just like his
holding
feet,
there.
look at his feet together, Chris Albert's feet together. That's a
Yes.
bit of Brian Albert, his feet are apart, so
Brian
that's
Albert's open. Legs are
yeah,
open, feet are open, hands are open. He's very comfortable in this position, which doesn't necessarily mean he's not deceptive or doesn't have anything to hide. It just means he's very comfortable.
yeah,
And
he's in control.
there are
He's
types
he
of people that are comfortable like that
Yeah,
in this
he's showing his
situation.
comfort, and he's, used to this type of situation, I'm sure, like high stakes, so he's probably got more control and feels. Yeah, it's interesting. Um, one thing, like you said earlier, for them to even do this to me is just wild. And the thing is, they don't, like you said, they don't show real concern for John, and they also don't seem to show any concern in this about the fact about Hank Brennan, about all the shit that he did in this trial and what the jurors are saying about the evidence and how Hank Brennan, even the holes in the sweatshirt, that whole thing where they basically fabricated evidence again. They fabricate things. They fabricate all kinds of things and they get caught and they never point at the DA. They never point and say, if they really cared like about this situation, they would at least point at the DA and say, they screwed this up.
Yeah.
Or Michael Proctor. You never hear that from them because they know that they're being, these folks are being backed by them. Like they're all in the same team. So that comes out. You can't kind of dismiss that, in my opinion.
Yeah, and even the way the interview is conducted, right? The questions that are being asked, the words that are being used, everything is very intentional. So we're going to see all that and a lot more. We're going to see all that. So I don't want to give it everything in the beginning, but it's very intentional, very robotic. But unfortunately, with body language, you can't hide no matter how many times you practice or whatever you try to do to protect, it comes out, and we will see that today. And I want to know from the chat, like the poll that we talked about, that Mike talked about in the beginning, in your opinion, okay, who do you think at the end of this video that we finished observing together, who do you think displays the most suspicious body language? If these people were really hiding something, okay, I don't know, I'm just watching them, who do you think gave most of it away? Chris, Julie, Brian, or Jen? We couldn't fit Matt into the answer because you can only fit 4, and Matt's Matt. So Jennifer McCabe, Brian Albert, Julie, or Chris Albert? Who do you guys think? I'm very curious. I'm sorry, Nicole. Her name is Nicole, not Julie. Oh, okay.
Julie, do we do
Yeah.
the wrong name?
Did we do
I'm
the
sorry.
wrong name? Okay, wait. Not Julie. Not Julie. Not Julie. So can we change the poll or can we
I
just
think we can take it down. Yeah, we'll start the
okay.
video and we can take it down if we
Okay,
need to.
okay, okay. So let me know,
But
Mike, when you want.
the first thing I'm going to do though is I want to make sure I get your YouTube in the chat. So let me do that first, and then I'll change the poll. I'll double check the poll.
Okay, thank you guys for knowing her name, Nicole.
Yeah, do you want to start the video?
Yeah, okay, all right. So let's get started.
The criminal justice system has let us down at every turn. And yesterday was the final letdown. And that's why we're here.
Okay, so here is the first pause we're gonna do, right? Yesterday was the final letdown. As soon as he does that, Matt McCabe touches his nose, and then Chris lifts his hand to also touch his face, but they cut the video. So touching your nose after you hear something, it's a subtle body language cue, and it could be like discomfort, uncertainty. It doesn't necessarily mean it's lying, but it's an adapter. It's a stressor because nothing really is itching. And if it was, both of them are itching at the same time. Matt and Chris are both going to touch their nose as soon as Brian Albert says, and yesterday was the final letdown. Okay, it's going. Oh, and that's why we're here. That's what he said. And that's why we're here. So this is the slow motion of Matt, and then Chris.
And that's why we're here, because there's nobody left to stand up for us.
So this is the first time that they are referring to themselves. There's nobody else to stand up for us. So this video is about them, right?
Real long and hard before you're a witness in a case.
So she's doing the one shoulder shrug we talked about. Think long and hard before you are witnessing a case. One shoulder shrug, is it usually a sign of deception or something is incongruent with the body versus what the mouth is saying?
Case because.
And then she's doing all these things in her face at once. The upside down frown, which is an unconscious negative emotion. And microexpression accompanied by other signs of displeasures like a furrowed brow, tightened jaw, which she's displaying all that. So this could be sadness, disapproval, or even embarrassment. So these are very weird emotions to be feeling when she's talking about being a witness in the case. Again, we always have to think about how would we normal people act in this situation, right? Is the reaction going to be, well, this is affecting us? Or how is the reaction going to be? Yeah, we had a verdict for John. We're very upset that we still don't know what happened to him, right? We're not like sad and having negative emotions about us being a witness. At least I don't think uh, that's what people would normally do, right? Mike, what do you think? If you were a witness and your friends, your friend was in that terrible tragedy, after that, and the verdict was, we still don't know what happened to your friend, your reaction would be what?
So the DA's office, the Mass State Police, and wondering what went wrong and who actually did it, and questioning if Karen did it or not. That's what I think I'd be at.
Yeah, exactly. You're not gonna be like, oh, back in 2 years ago when I testified, I would never. You wouldn't go there. You would be like, what happened to him? We still want to know, and we
Yeah, and
want
especially
answers.
after all the lack of evidence, especially hearing what the jurors had to say, you'd
Hmm.
be like, hmm. Even if you didn't go to the trial, even if you didn't sit there every day like they did.
Exactly. And she wasn't even a witness this time, so she's still talking about herself being a witness. All right, let me keep going.
I'm putting Brian Albert, Jennifer McCabe, Chris Albert, and Julie Albert in this poll.
Brian
Or am I putting
Albert.
Nicole? I'm getting confused now.
It's Nicole, right, guys? Nicole.
Yeah, that's what we want, Nicole.
Yeah,
All right.
Julie was the other one. So again, when
Julie, yeah, Julie's Chris's. That's right.
the blonde one, she was smart. She said, "I don't want to be in the video."
I'm
Good
probably
for
gonna
her.
spell Nicole wrong now.
Good for her. Don't. So this is Nicole.
Let me look up Nicole. Make sure I spell her name right.
Nicole Albert. Coco. Her name is also
Yeah,
Coco.
we'll just say Coco. I like
Coco.
that.
Okay, so who is it? Coco,
We'll Coco
Brian,
Albert. Coco.
Andrea. Matt McCabe doesn't fit in our answers. His body language is
Yeah,
outrageously obvious.
he's just like consider if you're voting for Matt McCabe, vote for Jennifer, right?
Yes, and I do have a surprise at the end with Matt McCabe. If you guys really love his body language, there's a small video we can play for him. So again, here when she says, "I think long and hard before you're witnessing the case," her micro expression exposes the teeth a little bit, and that's a sign of anger, aggression. It happens really quick, but that's where we pay attention to micro expressions right after a phrase is said. We're like, how does the body react to that phrase that was just said? Okay, I keep reading the chat. It's like I'm on my show and I just read all the chat all the time on my show. Okay, let's go see what else.
And it's very, very sad.
Okay, so she
When
also
she does that, that's like it's very that looks scripted right there, right? Kind of.
yeah,
Sad.
it looks like they all had their answers for the
Get
question.
your sad face on.
The questions that they knew they were gonna ask them, right? So right now on this pause right there, she was doing the one shoulder shrug and the eyes are closed. So when we have that we have either a delay, we're in the middle of a conversation, we close our eyes and we delay in opening them. So here I'm gonna read the shoulder shrug real quick, and I have Jennifer McCabe doing it. So you expect when people are truthful to give two shoulders up, right? I don't know the answer. That's how we usually react. There's nothing wrong with saying I don't know. Both shoulders rise up towards the ear. But then one shoulder only is a gravity defined behavior that normally signifies the person is not comfortable. And they're not, and up here on the right, it says they're not limbically committed to what is being said and probably being invasive or even deceptive. So Coco does two things. She does that, and she does the delay in opening her eyes again after she hears the information that she just said, which is a negative emotion or displeasure. One common phrase we always hear is see no evil, or hear no evil, speak no evil, right? So when the person like doesn't want to face somebody's asking them a question, they just delay opening their eyes. We're blocking negative emotions. Okay.
Comes out, and it comes out, right? I mean,
It comes
it's
out.
hard to, yeah.
Key players in the Karen Reed trial sitting down for an exclusive interview. His friend, Jennifer McCabe, and her husband, Matt, former Boston police sergeant.
Everything is very robotic, right? Everybody's not.
Brian Albert, and his wife, Nicole, and his brother, Chris Albert. All five of them pulled into the center of this high-profile case and now speak.
Okay. Even during these, let me go back real quick. Look at how Matt's gonna look at Brian Albert. Brian Albert's gonna say something. So I'm just playing this before he says it. But Matt's gonna look at him, bite his lip like a lip pursing, something's wrong, like he's withholding information, and then they all start nodding their heads together. So let's see how that's gonna go.
You see that? That's wild.
So he looks
The
at
head
him,
nod.
bites his lips. So lip compression, something's wrong, stress, anxiety, and now he's
And I think the reason we all stayed quiet is because we were just witnesses. This is a thing that we had nothing to do with.
We did the civic duty, came and told the truth, and that's it.
Free Karen Reed!
It's the case that has captivated the country and divided a town. Karen Reed, accused of killing her boss.
So this is for me. I just noticed the narrator, the person who's talking, the words they use. Okay, everything is very intentional. So killing, they're gonna use that.
Police officer boyfriend John O'Keefe hitting him with her SUV and leaving him to die in a blizzard.
Not guilty. Not guilty.
Now, after a second trial, a jury acquitting her of the most serious charges: second-degree murder and manslaughter. And hundreds of supporters, including Karen Reed's.
Were you there? Were you there?
No, I wasn't. It's funny. I was there the day before. I was so frustrated that I wasn't there, but it was great to watch it at home anyways while it happened. I was just chilling by myself, and it was just.
You were by yourself. I was by myself
Yeah.
too. Who am I
But it was the
talking
best
about?
moment ever. I swear to God, it
I went
was so.
live.
It was nice.
There
Yeah.
was like, I don't know, 10 people on my show, but I was like, let's do it live because oh,
I went live that night with Betterow, so that was like, it was perfect. It was a perfect day for me. I had the best day, and then I had Betterow on the show, and it was I think it was our biggest show ever, actually.
wow.
So
Probably, yeah. I
yeah,
cried
yeah.
for the whole weekend, somebody said.
So it was perfect. But the thing that's so interesting here is, like you said, the narrative from ABC News. It's like they could have said this is the most expensive OUI in the history of the world. Like instead they use all these narratives.
It's
Hit
very
by a car.
strong and murder and hit him saying all the charges. She was acquitted.
Yeah,
after
they did
much
say
of-
that. They did say acquitted, but could have led with this is the most expensive OUI conviction. How about leading with that? Like, because that's the real outrage in here. But they don't want to do that. They want to still focus on like she could have still done it just so that they get the headlines. It's just she didn't do it. We know she didn't do it.
Yes, absolutely. And it's very intentional. And that's why I was like, what? Why are they? And you will see they will help the McAlberts at one point when they don't know how to respond. The guy is going to help them with the answer to make, like, for example, I think is when he's asking Brian Alberts, why didn't you go outside? And Brian Albert's like, and he's like, oh, so you were confused. Like he's helping him. Oh, so you were confused, right? And you're very confused. And it's just, and then when it comes to Karen, the interview that they got from her was a little clip saying, oh, you were angry, right? You were angry. It's just the way they're trying to put out a narrative. And unfortunately for them nowadays, because we have so much information and technology and people watch shows like your show and they're just independent and people like independent media and journalism, people don't get fooled by these narratives anymore because we have the information. We can watch and make our own decision. You don't need to make me feel a certain way. Um, okay, so let's
Anyone can search. Anyone can search for it. Dig in, you know?
exactly. All right, let's see what else here.
Favorite color, cheering as the verdict came down yesterday.
I could not be standing here without these amazing supporters.
People turn this thing into a tailgate party, it looked like some days. Board games, cornhole, cookouts. This is a guy that was murdered, and it's atrocious for that family.
Again, I'm gonna stop here. A guy who was murdered, atrocious for that family. So body language is also about human behavior, right? And distancing language, the way people use words, is the way they use distancing. You're communicating a desire for separation from that person. So again, I don't know why they're doing this interview as their friends and family of Mr. O'Keefe. When they say a man was murdered, it was atrocious for that family. Everything is very distant from the Alberts. If it was you, how would you say it? How would you say it when you're talking about, well, there was a bunch of
our friend John, who was a police officer, was murdered. You know, like that's how I'd say it. And the fact is that ABC doesn't turn around and say, "Hey, when you say a man was murdered, that sounds a lot like those texts that Matt McCabe said the guy didn't come into the house." Remember that? And remember when your sister-in-law Jennifer McCabe, the coldness
a man in
on the
this. There's
911
a man
call.
in this. No, there's
Yeah.
a man in this. No,
Haven't you, like, isn't it wild that you folks are still using that same language after the verdict? They haven't learned anything. It's just
they
unbelievable. This
haven't.
it's like a Michael Morrissey production. They just feel like this is the script, this is what we're gonna say, but exactly like you said, like you can't hide it. That's why, like, like I learned early on that I couldn't lie. Anytime when I was a kid, I get caught at everything. So I just decided I'm gonna be truthful. I'm gonna be the real me. And it's so much easier that way because I'm not a good actor. And a lot of these folks aren't good actors or actresses. It just comes out through their words and their body language. And this is a perfect example. I'm so glad that you clipped this and added this because, just to quote it so people can see exactly what was said here. It's wild. It's wild. I can't believe he said a man was murdered and they thought this was a good idea. And the same thing I say about Michael Proctor too. Anytime these folks are in the news, it's bad news for them, so they shouldn't put themselves on TV. It's like the craziest thing I've ever seen. It's like, what are you doing? Like, unless someone's going to give you $1 million to go on TV, say no. Like you've already lost. There's no coming back. Anytime you're on TV, it's bad for you, and you're not good at this.
Yeah, they lack self-awareness. They don't have a good friend that is gonna be like, hey, we
They
like you
need one.
guys, but
They need
it
one.
doesn't
Or a
look
PR
good.
agent. Yeah, somebody
Exactly.
to say, hey, you're not helping yourself here. This is
It's not
not
going
helping.
well. It's not going
No.
well. So yeah, that's why I'm saying at the end, I think that was a bad decision to do this interview. But let's keep going because it gets worse.
Worse, oh boy.
It gets worse. It gets a lot worse. Okay, this is something I Googled, okay? I said distancing language and body language. This is the first example that appeared. Instead of using a name, instead of John, someone might say that man. I
Yeah.
didn't make this up. I
That's
Googled
the
that.
first Google. Wow. That just shows you how common it is. And that makes sense too. Like the most common would be what these idiots would use. Exactly. It's like that's who they are. They're just common liars. That's what they are. They're not sophisticated liars. Even Brian Albert, who I think is the slickest out of them all.
He is. He's absolutely the slickest because he doesn't seem to have emotional abilities.
He's cut it off.
He does seem to be
He's
very
dead. Dead inside.
yeah, that's what it seems like. Yes, I see no emotion on him. And there are people that have that, they lack that
While the
empathy.
prosecutors blamed Reed for O'Keefe's death, the defense said this group of
Okay, so wait, why did I put this here? Let me read this real quick, or just give you guys an idea, which I did before. Deception is very difficult to pinpoint. Even people who are professionals in body language for years and years, they say it's very difficult to say, oh, he's lying right here. but it's about comfort and discomfort. So we look for subtle behaviors. So let's see. It's because something is coming up. And those, okay. And another thing about discomfort, like for example, the shoulder shrug we talk about, I'm going to read the right side. Those who are lying or are guilty and must carry the knowledge of their lies or crimes with them find it difficult to achieve comfort, and their tension and distress may be readily observed. Attempting to disguise their guilt or deception places a very distressing cognitive load on them as they struggle to fabricate answers to what otherwise would be simple questions. So if you notice the whole, I'm not saying these people particularly are hiding crimes or lies, but I'm saying if you look at them as a group, they're all contracted, like they're all holding their hands, they're all protecting their legs, they're all uncomfortable in some way. So this is what I'm showing right now. See, everybody except for Brian Albert. Jennifer now is holding both of her legs, right, on the side.
Yeah. That's wild.
Family members framed Reed to cover up what really happened that night, ever since their lives becoming open season for endless conspiracy theories.
What they've
So this is how many times they're going to use that term, conspiracy theories.
done is they've dehumanized us.
Again, what they've done is they dehumanize us. So this interview seems to be all about them again and again. I'm the victim, blaming
To the sense where we're not real people. We're almost like caricatures. We're pawns.
Have each of you been called murderers? Like actual murderers?
And look at the outrage of the journalist, right? Have you been called murderers? Actual murderers? Like, this is so ridiculous and absurd, right?
Yeah, on a daily basis.
Anybody who's touched this case has been called a murderer at some point.
Ha 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 ha.
He is the weirdest man. Oh my god.
This is all I could get from Matt McCabe.
You know
So,
what? Sometimes I watch the videos of myself and I'm like goofy. Like I did this goofy thing where I didn't know I was being recorded at one of the studios I was at recently, and I just laugh my ass off. And no matter how goofy I think I am, sometimes watching my video, I could never be unintentionally goofy as Matt McCabe. He's just so funny. It's just hilarious. Like
he's
those faces.
hilarious.
What is up with that?
He's great. Yeah, I made a silly video of them. I'll show it to you guys maybe after. It's 2 minutes and it's just
Look
like
at his face. I'm just laughing. Look at that. Especially the one on the left. I don't know. It just makes me laugh.
Like he looks like a banana face. I don't know what it is.
Oh my god.
Somebody
so
said Matt is a doofus. He does have a doofus face, but I don't know him personally.
Like,
so. Like, oh, they call us murderers every day. It's not funny, dude. Who would laugh at that? Oh, they call us murderers.
Oh, man. I know.
Somebody's gonna clip me doing this. Ooh. And then I'm gonna be looking.
I'm waiting for her to go, stop it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, just, oh, because she's the opposite. She's just not like that. She's like, "Arr."
Yeah, she's.
She's got the,
There's nothing evil
Weird.
here.
yeah.
Oh my god. Okay, so Matt McCabe did that. Still clasping the hands. Okay.
And anyone who's friends with us support cop killers.
Okay, so I think I might go back a second. So I want to show you this. Jennifer almost doesn't talk, right? And I think that's also intentional because she does a lot of things with her face.
Yeah.
But she's gonna do something. She's going to look at Brian Albert.
Yeah.
Now it's her turn to talk. And he does something interesting, which he does again later. He does like, it's almost like he's not, it's almost like a control technique where he's not going to give you attention. Everybody's craving for his attention. He will look at her like this. And as she's talking, he's not looking at her anymore. It's kind of like he's listening to see if what she says is going to be approved by him later. And she's kind of like seeking approval. I don't know. Check it out. It's going to come now.
And anyone who's friends with us support.
See, he
cop
doesn't give her
killers.
the time of the day. And
She
then,
kind of point. See, like her hand goes in his direction too.
yeah, like, and she looks at him,
Yeah,
kind of like wanting
she
to
does. She's
have a
looking at him right there. Yep.
participation. So then you have her seeking approval, not getting it, him listening and judging with no eye contact, because he is judging. You see his face?
Oh
He's
yeah.
listening. He's like, let me see what everybody's gonna say. His wife, eye contact avoidance. So she's looking to the horizon down and protecting her front here. And Chris continues to hold his leg. He's holding his leg, make sure that stays there, which is again a protection, a defensive mechanism. Should we keep going?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Look at Coco too.
So that's in slower motion. Yeah. Jennifer's kind of inviting
After
Brian
3+
to
years,
the
the saga
conversation.
wrapped
He's
up
like, no.
yesterday. Reed captured celebrating at dinner with her father, and today seen walking with her attorney, Alan Jackson.
I didn't even know I'd be here today, so I had no plans.
Meanwhile, O'Keefe's family and friends struggling with the verdict.
I'm just sad for John's family and what happened yesterday, and I feel like they didn't get justice
So again, she's looking down and she's saying that, right? I'm sad for John's family. It doesn't look like they got justice. Okay.
for him, and our
Yeah, that
lives
is
just
so
changed.
weird. Can you stop it right there.
Mm-hmm.
Like that is something that you would just look right at the camera. You know what I mean? I don't see why, or right at the interviewer.
Yeah, but
Either
they're
way,
not. They're
like why are you looking down saying that? That's very suspicious.
not comfortable. Now, look, when Brian says things, he looks right at you because he's like a robot.
Yeah,
But they can't because she seems to
they're not
be,
practicing it.
yeah, like no matter how much practice you get, her body, she's still holding her hands. But we'll see a lot more from her in
I was
this.
airy when she said that. That was just,
You felt something like
yeah. Like I
didn't
felt
go
like it
well.
wasn't honest. It was like I don't know. I don't know why you'd have your eyes closed looking down. Like this is weird. No one, no other, and, no other explanation to me. Like I'm buying into this. I do buy into this body language stuff.
No, and everybody else, like they're talking about John's family and John not getting the justice, right? Look at that. Everybody else, Chris is looking down, like just
Yeah.
no particular emotion. Brian's completely emotionless. Like he has nothing going on. And it's like Jen and Matt are checking to see how she's doing.
Yes.
It's not
And
like
Chris,
they're
Chris,
feeling.
and Chris is looking off into space. Like,
Yeah,
look at
he's
Chris
just like,
too.
like shot, like when you go through something and you just like stare into space, and they're gonna have this reaction. A lot of them, like Chris has right now, like pause, because it's her turn, and then Jen and Matt are just like checking her, like how is she doing? And Brian continues with his position when he doesn't look at anybody, but he's kind of like judging behind the scenes. I don't know what he does when the doors close at home, but it's very scary.
It is.
Let me see.
forever.
Why speak out now after the verdict?
We took what we thought was the high road.
Right.
Let the court do its job.
Did John ever come in the house?
Never. No.
Okay. This is going to be very, very interesting. Okay. It's funny when I'm editing this, I see something, I'm like, oh my God. So look at her face. Did John ever come into the house? Okay. It might take a second because it's video. So she's going to do a big swallow. We're going to watch it in slow motion too. As soon as the question is asked, indicates anxiety, nervousness, distress. Then she's going to do a combination of turn down mouth, swallow, and raised eyebrows, negative surprise, disbelief, uncertainty, holding back information or emotions, dismissal, and anxiety. Then she's going to look around, compress her lips, and then close her eyes again. So when we don't like something we hear or a question, we often close our eyes to block what was just heard. The various forms of eye blocking mechanism are, I don't know how to say that, analogous to folding our hands tightly across our chest or turning away from those with whom we disagree. These blocking displays are performed subconsciously and occur often, especially during a formal interview, and are usually related to a specific topic. Did John ever come into the house? Is the topic. Eyelid flutter is also observed at times when a particular subject causes distress. So we're going to see all this together when I play the
I'm
video.
starting to feel like Coco could be the one that wins your poll, but I think everyone was leaning to Brian Albert early, but I don't know. Coco could be. Is that who you're thinking of?
I'm not going to tell you.
You're not going to tell? I'm feeling Coco right now. I'm feeling like she's giving us the most. Nicole Albert is giving us the most signs in this. Like,
So
I
if
really
any-
hadn't. I had watched like 2 seconds of this. I wasn't even sure if it was Julie or Nicole in it because I hadn't seen enough. All I'd seen is clips really of Brian Albert. So this is the first time I'm actually seeing like anybody else besides Brian really in it. So this is
Right?
interesting for me to watch, and I'm getting that feeling that she's the one who really gives the most signs here.
So if anybody just came in late, we have a poll. We're asking who from these people are giving out the most suspicious body language with their faces: Brian, Chris, Coco, or Jennifer. We didn't have space for Matt, so I'm sorry, Matt. Okay, so let's watch this again. I think this is gonna be the slower motion. So no, the guy never came into the house. Oh, did he ever come into the house? Look at her.
Did John ever come in the house?
Swallow.
Never. No.
You never saw John O'Keefe in the house, right?
Never.
Never. Never.
These are people in your own community
Everybody
who
shakes
believe the
head.
conspiracy.
No. So you saw how fast that goes with her face. Let me see.
Never.
These are people in your.
Let me go back.
Okay.
Again, look
Yeah.
at her, and she was. Okay. I wanted to go a bit before this.
It's wild how in sync she is with him too.
Mm-hmm. Let's try that again.
Did John ever come in the house?
Never. No.
You never saw John O'Keefe in the house, right?
Never.
Never. Never.
These are people in your own community who believe the conspiracy theories, who believe that there were other law enforcement
Conspiracy
officials and
again.
agents involved in this. Why is it people in your own community who
Oh, you
believe these
counter.
conspiracy theories?
Conspiracy number 3.
You do realize for this conspiracy to be
Conspiracy number 4.
true, it would take 30 to 50 people. You'd have
No, not really.
Not
right?
really.
Not really.
Yeah.
I know this is gonna be a script that he has prepared. Oh, you need the firefighters, you need the EMT, you need this person, but not really, because if the body was found in the snow, just whoever put the body in the snow would have to know, and then maybe the investigator who won't ask many questions, but that's all. Nobody knows for a fact that it was somebody else, right, Mike?
Absolutely. And
You don't need the whole town.
You don't need the whole town. You just need a couple key people, and anything like that. And especially when you know everybody too. People who know each other want to give each other the benefit of the doubt, even subconsciously. So it doesn't mean everyone has to be in on it. It's just, do you want to think as your friend is doing something horrible? You don't want to think that, So a lot of times when we have friends or acquaintances or people we work with and they do horrible things that we find out, we can't believe it, especially if we
Right.
like that person. You're like, I would have never expected. I like that person, and sometimes it's hard. Sometimes people will be in total denial about it, because they have feelings for the person. So yeah, it doesn't need to be everybody in on it. You just need a couple key people, and you just need people to like you too. That goes a long way.
Yeah, and you can see from Michael Proctor's texts the next day, right, with his friends. They're like, oh, the owner of the house is not gonna catch any shit, or no, the
Yeah,
owner of the house is gonna catch some shit, right? And he's like, oh no, the owner of the house is a Boston cop too.
exactly.
So he
He's-
wasn't necessarily saying, oh, I saw him do this and I'm covering
Yeah,
up. He just
no,
said he's not gonna catch any trouble. Like he's a cop,
yeah.
you know.
And all other cops generally are gonna give other cops the benefit of the doubt. There is a thin blue line too on top of it. So
Yeah.
not only is there a bias, there's also the thin blue line. So let's be clear. Even people who aren't in on it, even people, it's tough to be a whistleblower in law enforcement. We know this.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of
The
people
be-
like see you said see no evil, hear no evil. That's how a lot of cops are with other cop corruption. The good cops,
mm-hmm.
the good cops who aren't in on it, they don't want to see it though, because if they see it, then they have a pay of conscience. They have to make a decision, and if they go against their brothers in blue,
They
their
get in
career's
trouble.
over.
Yeah.
Yeah, and sometimes they'll frame them up, and sometimes you don't get backup, when you need it. There's all kinds of little ways. You lose a promotion, you never get beyond patrolman. It's so funny how many law enforcement I've talked to in the last couple of years, current and former law enforcement, and one of the local patrolmen that he's retired now, that I've talked to a few times. He made a great observation that I never thought of, is that like a lot of lifetime patrolmen are guys that weren't corrupt. That's why they stayed as just a patrolman, didn't get to become detective or
Right.
sergeant or lieutenant or chief, because they didn't go along with the system. So they never got that promotion.
Yeah.
Happens a lot.
No, it happens, and I know we don't like to believe it, but like you can see that when we hear somebody like Officer Diva come in and testify, and
Yeah.
it's so obvious that she was swayed another way. It's so obvious, right, with her, and then
That's a
you're
big
like,
question on
wow.
why too. That's a question that we still don't know. I hope it comes out in some of the interviews, because it's like, what actually happened there? How did who told her that her original, info was
Statement
wrong to
or
make her
her
change? Yeah,
memory, his
yeah,
memory or was
yeah.
false.
How did she get to that false memory? I that's still something that hasn't really been explained.
It was a
Like who
false
prompted
memory.
her? Who prompted her to come up with that false memory? That's the big question.
I heard somewhere. I think they're gonna make a movie out of this, right?
Oh yes, came out today that there's going to be a lot of movies. I guarantee you. There's a lot of documentaries. There's competing documentaries. And today it came out that Yannetti and Karen Reed, I believe, have signed a deal with like a major movie production company on a book.
Wow.
I didn't even see what book it is, but it sounds like it's going to be like a Hollywood movie. Like this is not going to be a
Yeah.
documentary. Might be like more of like a Hollywood acting movie, but
It
I'd
should be
expect
so
all of it.
long. I mean, how are you going to tell
Yeah.
this story in a movie? You
Yeah,
can't.
there's gonna be I think there's gonna be, like, 15 movies. Like, and it's gonna be, like, 10 books and,
Netflix series, 5
yeah, it's gonna
seasons.
be going on for decades.
Okay, so let's continue here with this guy. All right, so Brian is saying that you need everybody to be on it.
To have multiple cops on 2 different police departments, multiple civilians, the medical examiner, firemen, EMTs, you name it. That's how preposterous and silly this is. And great question. I don't understand how people bought this.
Brian Albert says he and
It's kind of like he's used to gaslighting people, right?
Yeah.
How do you buy such thing? Like, great question
Yeah.
from you. Great question that I told you to ask me 5 minutes ago. Just very, very
When he
rehearsed.
says great question, I think of somebody on trial right now named P. Diddy, who the other day said, "Judge, you're doing a great job."
P. Diddy
That's
what
what he said.
testified? What happened?
He they were asking him, like, basically the judge had a one-on-one,
Oh,
with
okay.
Diddy, with some other people in the courtroom. It was in front of part of court, but it's basically like the moment where the judge talks to P. Diddy
Mm-hmm.
about his rights not to testify. And so he goes through the rights and says, you understand, you've spoken to your lawyer, you understand, you have the right not to testify, you've chosen not to testify. Is that correct? He's going through that. And when he's doing that, P. Diddy apparently looked at the judge and said, "Judge, I just want to let you know you're doing a great job." It's just that's what reminds me of there. It's like great question. Like, it's just like, doesn't need to be said. Why are you saying that? It just,
Wow, it's kind of like a power play.
mm,
I don't know, because
great question.
that's so weird.
I mean, I've done a lot of media interviews. I don't know. Maybe you could find it, me saying great question to somebody, but I mean,
I
I say that to my
know.
chat. I say that to the chat more than anything because I like their questions that come in. But generally, when I'm talking to some, like, especially like the big time media people, it's one thing if you know somebody and you're friendly with them and, or you're doing a show together with them. But like if I'm talking to ABC News, Matt Gutman, I'm not going, great question. You know what I mean? It's just,
It's not about saying great questions, about saying great
Matt
great
Gutman doesn't.
question to this
Yeah,
question.
Matt Gutman doesn't need anyone to tell him great question. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like the guy's making a lot of money. He doesn't give a shit about your opinion, Brian Albert. Oh, what's a great question? It's just
He's like, how would people buy into this conspiracy? He says it 3 times in a way. Great question. So it's not about saying great question. It's about using that language where you're putting the message into the people's head that it's a conspiracy. It's silly. How can people even think
bingo.
about buying that? That's why Brian Albert is saying great question, because how could anybody buy that?
That's a good point. That's the other part of that. So it is a little different than Diddy. I think Diddy was doing it more of a power move for the judge and to kiss butt of the judge a little bit. I think
And
you're
when
right.
you
I
do
think
it, it's
this
natural
is
because
more
you're
about
like,
the
oh, great
conspiracy.
question.
Yeah, this is more about saying a Gutman. Thank you for saying conspiracy theory 4 times, right?
Yeah. Great
Yeah.
question.
That's a
But
great point, Bianca.
exactly. But when you thank you, Mike. But when you say it to your chat, you're like, oh, that's a great point. That's a great question. I didn't think of that. It's just different, how we use language.
I'm being nice to them. I don't think he's really trying to be nice to Gutman. I think I agree with you. I think it's just about the fact that he just wants to reiterate, yeah, conspiracy theory. Great question. We agree
Yeah,
on
like
that.
silly. These people are
Yeah.
silly. And then people that are listening to it, the way gaslighting works, right? To make you feel like you're the crazy one. You're like, so I'm silly and preposterous because I'm thinking that this is a conspiracy, but not really, because you don't have to believe what he's saying that everybody's in on it. He's just saying, in order for the conspiracy to be true, you have to believe everybody, 50 people were in on it, but that's not true. So that's why it's gaslighting. You're trying to make the other people feel like they're crazy for questioning you.
That's right.
Great question.
And
Let's
I'm
go.
pretty sure. Oh, sorry. I just
No,
was.
no, no,
I'm
no. I'm
pretty
sorry.
sure Brian Albert probably went to college.
Okay.
I went to. I graduated. I got a 4-year degree. I think Brian Albert got a 4-year degree. I need to find that out actually. But I mean, one of the classes we took was Logic 101.
Mm.
I thought it was one of the best classes around actually, and the reason why I liked it is because you spot these things. That is a red herring argument. What he's doing. It's not based. Nobody's saying that 50 people were involved.
Mm.
Nobody except him, except his crew, except those people, those folks. So it's not actually based on any logical argument. It's changing, like you said, gaslighting. It's reframing it, making it something that it's not. And he
Yeah, in
knows
order
that's
for you to
dishonest.
believe that, you have to believe this, but that's
Yeah.
not true.
As a police officer too, like you don't even need a logic class either. You know what's true and not what's not true. That's not the argument that's being put for, by Karen's defense. Nobody's ever said anything about 50 people being in on it.
And he knows. And he
Yeah.
knows it's not true. That
Yep.
you don't have to believe that, but he's using that to manipulate people.
Exactly. It's dishonesty
Dishonesty. And he does it all the time.
on national television. I mean, think about how devious you have to be that dishonest.
Yeah. He has no problem lying, and he doesn't seem to have any emotions. He's something else, this guy. Okay, should we keep going on the video?
Yes.
All right, let's go.
Only found out about John's death when Jen McCabe, who is Nicole's sister, barged into their bedroom.
She was just upset, and I immediately thought something had happened to one of her children or one of my children, because why else is she in my bedroom at 6:30 in the morning right now?
And what did she tell you?
So again, she feeds off of Brian Albert, right?
Like she's looking around a lot. It's just weird.
Yeah, and she was like, oh, she was and he's like upset. He completed that answer for her. And look at her body language with him. Looking down. Then he does the same thing he did to Jennifer. He does no eye contact, no approval. He just does this side listening to see how she's gonna do her script. And then she has this weird, like, one side of the mouth nervousness thing coming up, which could be insincerity, sarcasm, but even deception. On the other thing, when I was reading about deception, when one side of the mouth comes up or something is incongruent, because they're talking about Jennifer barging into the bedroom, right? She barged into the bedroom at 6 a.m. and I was thinking, it could be my kids, it could be her kids, but it was just John dead. Like, no big deal. It could be my kids. But let's see what else here on this. Oh no. Hold on, I'll find it. I put it in the beginning. Conspiracy theory 1, 2, 3. Let's see. Okay, right here somewhere. Let's see.
Children, because why else is she in my bedroom at 6:30 in the morning right now?
And what did she tell you?
John's out front. She said, John's out front. I think John's dead out front.
Okay, no emotion. John is out front.
At least he said at least he used the word John twice now.
Yeah.
At least he said the guy is out front. Yeah, you're right. No emotion at all.
This is like so strange.
Yeah, I think if this was my house, like, you know, I had a party, someone was found out in front of my lawn, and you'd have all this trauma around it, I think my voice would be cracking. I think I'd be like
afterwards, yeah.
Yeah.
But when somebody barges into the bedroom, right? You're in bed. You're like waking up, like, what? First thing, get up. Maybe if you need some pants, put some pants on.
Right.
Go outside right now.
Exactly.
What? Like, what would you guys do in the chat? Like, if somebody who doesn't live in your house, maybe your sister.
Especially if you invited, think about that too. You invited them after the bar closed, after last call. Said, come on back to my house.
They never showed up. That's Brian's story, right? They never showed up. The next day, somebody's like, Brian, wake up in your bedroom. And you're going to be like, oh, he's dead up front? Okay, what do you want me to do? Go outside?
Someone said they'd run out in their underwear. I'd put pants on. I would definitely put pants, shoes, a jacket on, but I'd be out there quickly. Like
very
probably
quickly.
in a minute.
I would grab Whisper, my dog.
I can dress very quickly. Yeah, I probably would take my dog with me actually, just to get him, you know, out to get a pee and check it out. That's probably what I'd be doing.
I'll put a robe, grab Whisper here, no leash, nothing, and I'll go outside. Because when the fire alarm rings in my building, that's what I've done before. That's what I've done. Like I've grabbed Whisper and went outside in my door to see if there was a fire or if it was just a false alarm.
Right, of course.
I didn't go like, oh, let me see what my possessions are, or let me put on some nicer clothes. No, I just went out. Okay, so let's see what else he does here.
I said, what the are you talking about, Jen? And I'm like, who? I didn't know.
You still didn't piece it together.
So see, Brian Albert has no emotion. What the beep are you talking about, Jennifer? So the guy's helping him here. Oh, so you didn't piece everything together. You were confused.
Yeah.
Because it's not
normal.
The
first thing he says is, I didn't know. Like, why is he being defensive like that? It seems kind of defensive. Like, I didn't know. What didn't you know? Like, what? Why not just go outside? Why not? You know?
What did he say?
It seems like immediately being defensive. Yeah, what didn't he know?
Let me go back a few seconds because I missed that. What you just said. Hold on, let's see.
I said, what the are you talking about, Jen? And I'm like, who? I didn't know.
You still didn't piece.
Oh, he said, who? I didn't know. I missed
Yeah,
that.
what didn't he know?
Yeah, who, what? I didn't know what. And then the guy is going to interrupt and help him because the guy.
And it's like, why would you say that if she just told you? Isn't it obvious that you're not supposed to know? Do you see
He
what I
said
mean? Like,
twice, John,
it's
right?
almost
John.
like he's like, I gotta pretend that I didn't know, right? Like he's
Yeah.
trying to pretend that. Like, I gotta pretend I didn't know.
Like at that point, I didn't know yet
Yeah.
what had happened.
It's like if that's what you're leading with, why do you have to say it? You know, like it's weird. That is weird.
Very weird. And this, what's his name? The journalist?
Matt Gutman.
Matt. Being a smart person that he is, he can observe the behavior and he can come to the rescue to make his interview flow, right? Because Brian Albert is not displaying normal behavior. When you're asking about, she barged in, he's dead outside. What is the normal reaction we talked about here before? We run, we do something. But Brian is saying, I didn't know, nothing normal, just no reaction.
I'd be like,
no
did you
act.
call? I'd be saying a couple things. Do you call 911? Do we need to call 911? What's going on?
Is he alive? Are you sure? Like something.
How did he get there?
What are you talking about? Exactly.
Yeah.
Did you call something?
Has he been there all night? I'd be asking a million questions and probably going outside immediately. You know, and getting
Immediately
dressed.
going outside.
Yeah, that's it.
No matter if you're Boston or Canton.
I would be going, I didn't know. What didn't you know? I mean, that's so weird. That's like guilty. Like a guilty is just, I didn't know. What didn't you know?
Amanda Rella says, I love how Bianca can keep a straight face when Matt speaks. I just start laughing. So anyways, Matt here, this Matt is helping to minimize.
I didn't understand what she was talking about because why would John be out front of my house?
So
again,
there we go. See, that's one actually reasonable question I would have asked. So that seems more reasonable.
Why would John be outside of our house?
I'd be asking all kinds of questions while I'm going outside to check. You know, I'd be asking every question in the book. I mean,
okay, here we go.
Massively confusing. There are police officers, EMTs on your front.
Let me do this for you. This is massively confusing. There's this, and all they're doing now is nodding.
Please save us. Please save us.
Why don't you just go outside and investigate or take a look?
I'm not a Canton police officer. I'm a Boston police officer. I was just woken up out of a cold sleep from hanging out the night before. By the time I came downstairs, the police were already in my house. John was already gone.
So he's pointing at John. John was already gone. Like she had already got him gone. I'm just kidding. But he's pointing at her. And everybody's in protective mode now. Protecting their groin.
It's weird. Why is he pointing at her? That is weird.
I don't know. John was already gone.
Yeah.
Or Jennifer's here. I don't know what Jennifer is.
Jennifer knows. Jennifer could back me up.
Jennifer knows he's gone.
She did the Google search around that time.
She Googled him at 3 in the morning, 2:27. Oh. So by this time, John is already gone. I didn't know what happened. It's very weird.
Very weird.
But
Sarah
again,
agrees.
A lot of words, word salad that don't make sense because it just doesn't. It's not coherent with the story. What was I supposed to do? I'm a Canton police officer. No, I'm a Boston police officer. I'm not a Canton police officer. What? I'm not a police officer and I would have gone outside. That doesn't make any sense.
No, none, zero.
Everybody asks you, why didn't you go outside? And that's the best you can come up with.
Yep.
I mean, he could have come up with a better lie.
Yeah. Definitely.
I don't know, something maybe like, oh, my brother is a detective and we had an issue, or I don't know, like my brother's a detective. I texted him, he said don't go outside. Or like, the first thing I did was call my brother. He said, don't go. I don't know.
Yeah.
Something more normal.
I mean, you would go outside because it's your property.
Right away.
I mean, it doesn't, like it's one thing if you insert yourself where there is a conflict of interest, but this is your property, so you have an interest. Do you know what I mean? Like you own the property he's found on. You have an interest in this. There's no you can't be conflicted. Like it's like so it's weird. Definitely weird.
And another thing that I'm not clear on, because this I don't remember. Brian is saying when Jennifer woke them up that John was no longer there, that they had already taken him, that the cops were inside his house.
Yeah.
I don't remember any of that because I remember when Jen arrived, she had Carrie and Karen.
Yeah.
And they were calling 911 outside.
That's
so
right.
that would be a perfect time for Brian to come out, to knock there. Brian, John is here in the snow. Can you please come check if he's alive? We don't know. We don't know how to do CPR. So I don't understand. You know, this is a huge red flag.
Totally.
Huge red flag.
Without a doubt.
So let's see.
I love how you said they're protecting the groin.
Their groins.
That's what they do. It's so weird.
So this we saw already. The whole interview was gaslighting. They think, okay. Oh, look who's here.
Chloe.
Hi, Chloe. Hope you're okay, honey. Sorry, it's not your fault. It's your parents' fault.
There was nobody to save. I would have taken a bullet for John O'Keefe because he was a fellow cop. That's the most ridiculous question.
So because he was a fellow cop and he was the flow of that sentence was to continue, right? I would have taken a bullet for John O'Keefe because he was a fellow cop. He was a great guy. He was a hero. Everybody knew. He took his sister's kids. Like John was an important, precious guy. We all love John. But no,
he wanted to get to that other part, which he didn't really. He was using that like it's a scripted part. He wanted to get to that's a ridiculous question. That's what he emphasized right there in that whole string. He emphasized that's a ridiculous question over John O'Keefe, if you listen to his tone there. So it's like when I'm presenting something, if I want to emphasize something, I raise my tone on it. And that's what he did on that one.
Yeah.
He emphasized that's a ridiculous question.
And
it wasn't so much he had this. Yeah, the strongest wasn't for John O'Keefe.
Right. It all goes back to them, how it affects them. It's not about John O'Keefe. It's not about him being a fellow cop. So what that does is that takes away from his sentence, because like I said, we talk, it's nonverbal. But when he's saying, I would have taken a bullet for John, is a robot because he was a fellow cop, and that's a ridiculous question. So what he really means, like you said, is when he's emphasizing. The rest is just fluff so that people will believe him, because he has done this successfully in his life. One thing that the behavioral panel, they always say, they do body language, they always say the organism does what the organism has been successful doing all their lives. So people who are natural manipulators, who are used to controlling other people, gaslighting, making people believe them when they're just saying word salad, a bunch of things that don't make sense. They have done that, and it has been successful for them. And usually they stay behind the scenes. Nobody catches them. They're not on an interview. We're not dissecting their body language. And the people around them, they're under control, and they suffer because they don't really understand they're being manipulated clearly. So when we see it happening like here, for us, it's easier to point it out. But for the people who are living in the control, and I'm not saying there's different degrees here, it must be very difficult. It must be very difficult to even get out one day, if that's all you know. If I don't know how long they're married, but if they're married like 30, 40 years, and she's used to this, she doesn't even know there's a way out, possibly. I'm not saying he's in this situation, but generally speaking, when people are in these situations with manipulators.
Definitely. No doubt about it.
Okay, let me press play.
That people always ask, it makes zero sense. What am I supposed to do? Run out front in my underwear and start running yellow tape around the fire hydrant?
Over the 911.
So very inappropriate. Very inappropriate because this is a serious matter. We really want to know why he didn't help John. Everybody wants to know that. And the fact that he used his underwear there, like, no, nobody wants to see that ever.
Yeah.
But like, just
And
inappropriate.
he inflates things too, because there's been a lot of criticism of the Canton police for not doing the yellow tape, for not securing the scene. So he's basically again doing like logical fallacies, mixing 2 points and making you think like people have accused him of not running out, and nobody asked him to do that. Nobody suggested on any side, nobody suggested that he would run yellow tape. What people suggested is that he would probably go out and take a look and see what's going on, maybe
That's
talk
all.
to the cops and say, "Hey, how's John? What happened? How did he get here? Who did it? Like, did he fall?" You just find out, right? Like anything else. Like
Yeah, take a
something
look.
happens if there was a crazy guy out in front of my house one night. Me and the neighbor, we were both watching it. We just watched it the entire time, and it got so so wild. We felt bad for the guy. I know my neighbor did call the police, and
Hmm.
I was happy the way that they showed up and the way they handled it. I watched the whole thing, and I was like, I was so proud actually of my local police department watching them handle this guy, because he was having a mental breakdown. It was sad, and we were worried
Yeah.
about him, and they handled him really well. So yeah, I mean, that's what people do in front of their property, especially in a quiet neighborhood. You notice, maybe not in the city, if you lived in,
New
the most
York.
dense area, yeah, you would notice that stuff. It just happens all the time. You ignore it. You can't worry about it. But if you're in the sticks and you own the property, you notice this stuff. You do.
Yeah, I had
Suburbs,
a
you notice it.
guy in my building, just he would go into every window like this.
Yeah.
And he does have mental problems as well. Because I asked the association, I'm like, I'm gonna call the cops. There's like a guy, he just goes into everybody's windows like this, and he walks around the building. And they're like, oh no, he has mental issues, and we are aware, we are handling the situation. I'm like, okay, but it's normal. Just nobody asked him to go outside in his underwear to put yellow tape. That is a
Yeah,
ridiculous.
that's
That is a
insane.
ridiculous position.
That's
Just go outside and see what happened. What's going
it,
on?
it's again dishonest. It's a lot of
Offer
dishonest.
help.
That's like a red herring again.
Offer help. Even little things that happen in the dog park. Like I go to the dog park all the time, and I always say, "Oh, I have a if somebody gets hurt, I have a pet kit. Like I have. Do you need a Band-Aid? Do you need
First
Advil?
aid.
Like
Yeah.
first aid. Like you just offer to help. That's what people do.
Exactly.
And if you're a sergeant, we expect so much more from you. You're there
Yeah.
to
It's called
protect
being
and
a good
serve.
neighbor. Yeah.
Good neighbor.
Yep.
What am I supposed to do? Go outside my underwear, run yellow tape? Ridiculous. Nobody gave him any like self-awareness course. Just I don't know who is buying this. Only his family. His family are like, wow, you're doing so great, Brian. And that's it. Okay, so
Like you
somebody
said,
said,
sarcastic too. Yeah, not appropriate. Not at all. None of it is.
yeah, some people are saying narcissist is sociopath, no empathy. Okay, should we keep going?
Yeah, definitely. Love it. This is
What was
911
yours?
call.
Does a man pass out in the snow? No, you just said, no, we don't know. I don't know.
Hello? But what raised eyebrows?
There's a man. There's a man passed out in the snow. Very weird.
Yeah, distancing. I'm wondering now, is ABC going to note this, or are they going to gloss over? I'm surprised they played that, actually, considering all that they've shown so far, which hasn't been good. I'm surprised they played that. I'm wondering where they're going to go with this ABC now.
Yeah. So now I think they're gonna go to
At Reed's trial was a defense theory about a Google search Jen had made about how long it takes to die in the cold. The defense claiming she searched it before O'Keefe's body was found.
So again, defense theory, the defense is claiming, okay, but we had a whole trial on it, right?
So much has been made about that Google search.
Yeah. Everybody's holding on tight again.
They sure are.
That morning. Was it at 6 a.m. or was it at 6:27 a.m.? How long to die in the cold? What's your answer?
She asked me to do it at outside of Fairview at 6:20, whatever it was. Doesn't matter.
So those are just her still faces on that clip. That's all she got. She only got a little portion because they did not want her to talk. and this is what she does. You know,
Isn't that interesting? They cut back on the Jen McCabe. I wonder if it was the network's choice or she didn't speak as much.
I think maybe she did speak more, but the network may have like clipped it because she has a lot of facial expressions, and her facial expressions are not good ever.
Yeah.
They're very angry. Look at this. This is like I
Yeah,
had to do slow
I know.
motion, then I had to clip
Seriously.
just to get what she does. And you can see the evil eyes, you can see the teeth exposure, you can see the end. The last face she does is a tongue jut. I got away with
Yeah.
something. She
Yep.
does that a lot. She looks down to the right, kind of like regaining her. It's not really lying, it's like regaining your thoughts or going over your thoughts or something like that. But it's not a comfortable face, it's not a peaceful face, it's not a sad face. Her faces are displaying, you know, anger, what she has displayed since the beginning. And this is her with her new persona now, with her softer version.
Yes. Which is still pretty hard.
Bites her lips in anger and defiance, somebody said. Yeah, she does the lip compression again. Something is wrong. And this happens very fast because they just got rid of her right away. Yeah.
No doubt about it.
Okay. I think getting also
I love these screen captures. The many faces of Jennifer McCabe.
Yes. Oh, I have
Oh
so
my
many.
God.
And that's a little bit in slower motion.
I want to know who they're going to have play Jennifer McCabe. It's got to be like a really good actress if this is a made for TV type, movie or a big screen movie. They got to really pick the right actress for her.
I can't think of anyone. They should hire her.
Play
No matter
herself.
how much I say about it, people will not believe it.
The group also hoping to
Aw.
clear up rumors regarding the Albert's dog, Chloe, who had been rehomed after the incident.
Cute.
The
She's
defense
still
claimed
alive.
the dog
That's
was
good.
involved in O'Keefe's death.
Those wounds were inflicted as the result of a dog attack. Those marks are from teeth.
They've known for 2 years where Chloe is. The state shared it with them.
So if they wanted to take DNA evidence from Chloe the dog and match it to possible DNA evidence on John O'Keefe, they could have matched it.
Absolutely.
But now with the trial behind them, they say they're still faced with threats against them and their families, but hope to continue calling this community their home.
You get
Let's
down,
cry.
you get depressed, and but this is the town we grew up in. We didn't do anything wrong. We all contributed to our town. We love our town. Why should we have to go anywhere?
Aw. Don't you feel bad for them? That's it. That's it for the.
That's it. Poor
Brian
Chris
Albert.
Albert. Chris Albert did not look good in that. With his legs, his feet together, and the bags under his eyes. It's like, wow.
His wife's not even there. His wife's like, you do
His
it.
wife's not there.
I'm done with you. I'm
That
done.
was just the whole thing was pretty wild to see that. If I had to vote,
Yes.
I would go Coco #1. I would probably go I don't know. I might even go Brian Albert because Brian Albert he's so icy, like you said. I would probably pick him #2, but I'd say his wife, Coco. She would be #1, the #1 tell. I think she gives out the most. And now I'm interested to see what the poll results are.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask you.
People are asking in your chat, where's the poll? They don't have so we're
On my
streaming, I should
chat?
say. Yeah, we're streaming on both Bianca's channel and the Young Jerks. The polls in the Young Jerks channel. I don't want anyone to leave Bianca's stream.
I don't even know
haven't-
we're on my. We have a chat on my channel. This is my chat.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, well, some of them they're mixed. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
some of them are yours, some of them mine. And so, basically, when it's streaming on your channel,
Uh-huh.
I want people to stay there. I don't want people coming over here to vote. Stay on Bianca's
No, but
channel.
go to Mike's channel to vote. I want to know what you guys think.
Make sure everyone from this stream too, on the Young Jerks. Make sure you hit Bianca's stream, give it a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe and follow her, please. It's pinned in the top of the chat.
Please, guys, I need the support. Otherwise, I'm gonna give up on this.
Yeah.
Too
Don't
thick.
don't. We don't want that. We're gonna make sure you don't. 60% Brian Albert right now is winning the poll.
Wow.
Let's see who is in second place. Second place is close. It's Jennifer. Not so Coco. Coco Albert is in second place with 18%. Jennifer McCabe is right behind with 16%, and Chris Albert at 5. So Brian
Wow.
Albert, Brian Albert. People feel like
He's the one that was
he
most suspicious. Okay, that's
interesting. You didn't
great.
suspect that, did you?
I expected everybody to think Brian Albert up front. Once I watched the interview,
True.
I thought Coco was the one giving off the most signs, suspicious signs,
Right.
because she did when they asked did John go into the house, her lips frowned, like she did a lot with
That's
her
right.
face. She looked around and lip compression, something's wrong. But Brian Albert could be the winner because Brian Albert shows no emotion. By showing no emotion, he shows signs of, certain personality types that people have noted in the chat.
Yeah.
And there is no wrong answer. But that was
Yeah.
just for me interesting when I saw that part where did John go into the house, where Coco's face was, to me, very telling.
Yeah, I wonder if it hasn't changed over the time frame that we've played it. But it's over 1,700 votes here on it, which is
Wow.
pretty cool too. And I gotta say, I think Brian Albert does kind of stand out because he's different than the others. Do you know what I'm saying? And like you said, you could feel like he's the leader. You can feel it. So it's interesting. But I think him and his wife are the top 2 vote getters. So
There
there
you
you
go.
go. Number
That
1 and
helps.
2.
But that's a great point, Mike. That's a great point because he's different than others. That is a great
Yeah.
point.
Yeah. Then that always stands out, right? When you're different than others, that's sometimes it's a good thing, sometimes it's not,
Yeah, because human behavior, everybody's feeling a certain way. In this context, they're all feeling restrained, nervous, protective. But then you got Brian Albert there, like, yeah, he did it. Yeah, I didn't go outside. Yeah, the guy didn't go into the house, and nothing phases him. I would have taken a bullet for him. Everything he says is the same expression. It's the same
Yep.
expression. Please don't comment in caps. Okay, so I was gonna ask you, Mike, if you want to play a silly video. It's like
Which video? Do we have another video here?
2 minutes. It's an older video, but it's from the McCabe's.
Okay.
I'll send you in the private chat.
Oh yeah.
It's like a little song and just Matt's faces and Jennifer McCabe's faces. It's 2 minutes.
Let me find it here.
Yes, guys, everybody everybody hit the like button and the subscribe on both our channels, please, and leave a comment to help the algorithm.
Is it up there now?
No. Do you want me to do it?
No, I'll get it up.
Okay.
Oh, I see. Hold
Oh, Kobe. No, that's not it.
on. I'm sorry.
Is it? Oh no, I think it is it. Okay.
We're on video?
No, that's it. The McCabe's, but it's no volume.
I'm sorry. I started over. What's that?
Put a volume.
Oh, the volume's off. See, I can hear the volume. That's why I
Oh,
couldn't hear
you
you.
can?
Yeah. Let me make sure that it's on though.
Shock and horror.
I know. Sometimes
Sometimes it's the computer changes.
sometimes the YouTube's been having issues with StreamYard, but it seemed like it was playing. Hold on. Let's try it again. I'll just re-jump it again.
Okay. Yes.
Sometimes that works. You know if you do anything.
There's nothing evil here. Was I asked what she said? They're in shock and horror. Of shock? I was in a state of shock.
While you did that, sir, Julie Nagel never said what was that. Did she truly say that? She never said she had seen a black.
Are you hearing that, Bianca?
Yeah, just lower the volume a little bit on the video.
Wow. Say that again.
Lower the volume just a little bit on the
Lower.
video. Mhm.
Okay. It's loud now, huh?
Yeah, like in the middle.
Actually, I'll do it this way. Hold on. There's 2 ways to do it. Yeah, sometimes it gets too distorted if you turn it up too much, I notice.
Oh.
So I think this all right, we'll start it over. There we go.
It's really silly though.
There's nothing evil here.
Robert's number.
Was I asked what she said? They're in shock and horror. Of shock. I was in a state of shock.
While you did that, sir, Julie Nagel never said what was that. Did she?
Julie say that.
She never said she had seen a black object, correct?
I did not hear her say that.
The blob.
It's terrifying when you go through an experience and you're in shock, and her hysterical. So it's a bit of a hysterical scene telling you, I said the taillight was cracked.
This is another example of him screwing up your words. Correct?
You'd have to ask Trooper Proctor.
No, absolutely not.
They're in shock and horror. Do not recall deleting any phone calls at all. I would have no reason to delete anything.
The Jeep was right there. From the edge of the driveway, right there. I believe it was a 2-door Jeep.
Okay, it looks like a part of the Jeep would have been blocking the driveway.
No, where the mailbox is, the Jeep was right there. It was not blocking the driveway.
The two of us had all this information that just kept coming back to us and back to us. And it was...
As evidence revealed itself,
Tongue. He likes that tongue thing. It's weird. Oh my god. Maddie. Oh. Wow, that is wild. Make sure you hit that subscribe button on Bianca's channel. These are the videos. These are phenomenal. That was such a good video. Wow.
I love Matt.
Amazing. How much time did that take to create that?
That one probably like 40 minutes or something. It's so it takes forever because you got to do all the little things, but just Matt McCabe's face just makes me so happy.
Yeah, it was great. It's phenomenal. I know, right? Like I could. Oh man, he's got some. Maybe he should have been. Maybe he should have followed acting because he's got like an expression face, but I don't think he's got any skills. You know what I mean? He doesn't have any control over it.
Jen and him, they have great facial expressions.
Well, they could have been actresses and actors if they got some skills, maybe because they're so expressive. You know?
Yeah, but they decided to be in this instead, and Google has long.
Yeah. Wow, that was wild. I thank you so much for going through this. I got a little video I want to share too, which is quick.
Yay.
This is very quick. It's not all slick and edited. I ripped it from somebody else. But since we're going over the McAlberts, I feel like and like I'm after we kind of wrap it up, I'm going to talk a little bit about the jurors today because they've been getting a lot of crap. I'll go through the super chats. But this is one of the jurors. This is the jury foreman. I thought he was phenomenal, but I just want to compare the body language from this quick clip compared to those other folks.
Okay.
Because this is a guy that hasn't been on TV a lot. He's not used to this. And let's just take a look at this.
Here's a hole. Here's a hole. Here's a hole. Here's a hole.
It was a aha moment, like, wow, they're reaching. And which was when they talked about the holes on the back of the hoodie and everything, and then they had to point back and bring us back in and tell us, no, those was holes that was made by the forensic person. And it was like, oh, so how we, again, more holes that we have to sift through and try to figure out more games that's being played.
What do you see there, Bianca?
Wow, I did not see that. I'd never seen this guy before because I was on vacation. I'm amazed. Very, very natural, right? You see his hand gestures flow with what he's saying, his eyebrows raised. I love the fact that he picked up on the holes, because I
Right.
thought the way the judge corrected was very bland. It wasn't like
Exactly.
strong enough. But he was like, "Oh, here we go again. They're playing games."
Right. Smart guy and honest. He's the jury foreman. He was juror number 1. Um, I love this guy. He's
Thank
phenomenal.
God.
He followed the evidence. He's all about the evidence, and the evidence didn't prove that Karen did what they alleged. So,
Phenomenal. Thank God that this guy was a
what a
juror.
difference
Very, very
between
smart.
him compared to the McAlberts. I thought that was like a good way to kind of transition and end, because it's just like so jarring to see this guy who looks so genuine,
Genuine, exactly. Natural, right?
not
Natural.
nervous.
Even
Like
though
you
he's
said, he's
saying,
open too, right? He's not, like you
yeah.
said, he's not closed at all.
Even he goes like this, and he's like, "Oh," and then we're like, "Oh, more
Yeah.
games being played." His eyebrows raised. He does everything with his body. His hands are congruent with what he's saying, but he's natural. He's not like holding, protecting, just trying to not move the face and say like the McAlberts. The McAlberts are like robots. So I'm glad. Were there any other jurors that came? I know Paula did, the
There, you
Brazilian.
know what? I did just post a Paula video, which is funny. But this is, we'll put it up. We'll try it out.
Because I saw her first video as she was speaking. I'm like, is she from Brazil?
This isn't even an interview. This is what I just ripped this off her Twitter, actually. Let me see if I can get it up. Hold on one second. It'll take me a second, but this video is Paula, who's another juror that's been everywhere, and she
Good for her.
basically is getting trolled by
Mm.
all these miscreants and harassed for over a week on Twitter, and she just doesn't care. She goes right back at them and calls them out and busts their balls and makes fun of their little conspiracy theories. They've dug into her family. They've done all kinds of stuff. So I'm gonna let's put her video up. I think
Yeah,
let's see if I
she's
can get
very
it up.
smart.
It's actually a reel, so it may be. That's the only thing I'm worried about. Sometimes those shorts and reels give us a hard time here on StreamYard, but let's try it out. Let's see if it works. I got it on the screen. Let's this is Paula. And like I said, she's trolling them back and having a good time with them.
Okay.
But I can also tell this is, as much she is so good at this, actually. She's been just smacking them around on Twitter, but they're getting nasty with her. Like it's like obsessively gross.
Yeah.
Some of the I'm gonna say how bad these trolls are. Is like that juror we just showed, the juror number
Mm-hmm.
1, the foreman.
Yeah.
One of the main trolls called him an Uncle Tom this week, and if people know historically, that's like a really nasty racial trope. It's just it's racist.
Oh.
It's racist. Like you call someone an Uncle Tom, especially the woman who did it is a white woman. And she's telling him that he's betrayed his people and all this crap.
That's
And
ridiculous.
it's
People have
gross.
to let it go and just be like, okay, the jury has spoken. We respected the system. We had to swallow so many things that we didn't like as well. And that's what happens,
And instead, they're harassing the shit out of these people, especially Paula too.
Get a life.
Paula and the foreman, they're going after the most. All right,
They need to get a life.
Comments like all the sarcastic things, you guys are loving it. It's off today. Now it has been 7 days, and you guys are still talking about me. So I can't keep it up, and he needs a day off. So no funny comments today. However, I'm here for showing my beautiful face that you guys also love it, to put some drawing in it and make some fun and big. Can we please make memes in Portuguese so I can show off in Brazil? It would be great. But back to the point. Filha, can you excuse me?
Daughter.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm just a mom. Back to the point. I'm
just a mom.
We are a group of 12 jurors. And so far, me and the foreman is the 2 jurors who had to.
I want to say something, Bianca, on this already.
No, she was. Oh, okay, fine. She was just saying, I'm just a mom, which is something Jennifer McCabe said in the trial. Just saying.
Oh, that's funny. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, she might be trolling.
I don't know,
back
but
a
she
little
said
bit.
we're just moms.
That's funny.
Talk the most. I'm Latina. He's black. I'm wondering, like, if it was a white juror who had come out, if they will have the same amount of
hate,
love we are receiving. You guys see it. Like, it's not much about John O'Keefe and Karen Reed anymore. It's become about us. They are attacking our race or ethnicity or level of intelligence based on our skin color. Fantastic. I just wonder if it was a white juror, if it would be the same. Have a good day, guys. Hi, guys. So the person who
Look, that's it. That was it just sucks he has to do that, like
she's
that
great,
they're
honestly.
harassing her. Yeah, she's
Yeah.
phenomenal.
No,
She's
people need to get a life and stop with that. And I know they won't stop it, but if you just stop giving them attention, maybe they'll stop it. They need to get a life. Get a life.
yeah,
Get a
yeah,
life.
they do need to get a life.
Like, I don't know, go to work, do something. I mean, we're
She
here
is
talking about
great.
Kara Reed, but this is kind of our job too. Like, but you guys don't go after the family. I read Brennan's.
And I gotta say, I've like the 4-person in Paula, I got mad respect for. They have been phenomenal. They've handled it well. They've given great comments, and that's why they're getting attacked
They're
because they're credible.
smart.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard her first interview and I was like, wow, I'm so glad to hear that. Yeah, she's like, they didn't show the evidence, didn't show this. And I heard somebody else, I think it was maybe it wasn't like an interview was like a written interview saying, we don't know what happened. Like, we don't know, but it wasn't presented to us. We didn't have enough information. That is the smart thing to say. This jury was so smart and they did their job just like it's supposed to be done. The Commonwealth had the full responsibility to bring the case, to show to them beyond a reasonable doubt. They didn't do that, so they couldn't convict. They don't have to find the answers. And just very smart and respectable. It wasn't like the last time where the jury was like, oh, she was there, he was there, so then I thought she did it. That's not how it works. But then, yeah, and also in Brazil, just so you guys know, school, like college, to get in is way harder than here. For you to become a doctor or an attorney in Brazil, they have these competitions with thousands of people. You have to pass a test. If you don't get qualified in like the number, whatever, 100 or whatever, you don't go. You have to wait until next year. So this lady, Paula, is extremely smart.
Definitely. She is a smart lady. I know that for a fact.
And maybe because she has an accent, like I have an accent too.
That's what's driving them crazy. Is she's just trolling them back, and she's having so much fun with it. And it's just
get her here, Mike. Get her here, and then I'll come.
I'll try. I've been trying actually, but she's. I don't want to bug her. She's a mom.
I Twitter.
She's done like 6 interviews already, or something. Like I just.
Once the big ones, like the bigger ones, stop bothering her. Like I sent her something on Twitter. She doesn't have a message, but I sent something, and she's like, "Who are you, girl? Who are you?" I'm like, "I'm Brazilian. Is that funny? I'm Brazilian too."
That's funny. Yeah, you're Brazilian. It's funny because they think that she was like one of the. It's funny. They call it the conspiracy theory. One of the conspiracy theorists, because that's what they are. They went and realized that Paula was following some free Karen Reed accounts, including myself, on Twitter. And so they assume that she's been following us for years and she's been all about Karen Reed the whole time secretly. And the truth of it is that she followed us after the verdict came out. And then she started looking into it. Because she doesn't even know, she doesn't know me. I've talked to her. She has no clue. I know that I don't think she's ever watched my show actually.
Yeah.
And she follows me, and people are like, "Oh, she's been following you for years." It's like, it's not true. Like her last message, she called me Mark. She's on. I think she thought I was Betero or something. It's so funny. How much does she? They're so full of shit.
No, and she was saying in the first interview that she loves true crime, but she watches the Brazilian true crime. And I can tell you guys, because I don't watch Brazilian true crime, I only watch American, but I'm very Americanized. Yeah. Everybody that I say, like Brazilian people that I say, oh, I have a body language true crime channel, they're like, oh, you follow this case, that case in Brazil. They have famous cases in Brazil. And I'm like, no, but that's what she's talking about because in Brazil, it's very like popular as well. But they have all these cases in Brazil that the Brazilian people follow. So when she was saying that I follow the Brazilian ones, I believe her because she's an attorney there. And for her, this might have been a fantastic experience, like to watch how the process works and to be a part of it. People.
To my door, which is weird. I'm checking my cameras.
Somebody's at your door.
I thought I heard something. And I looked over my dog here, and he's looking around. So I'm just checking my cameras to make sure nothing's going on over there.
Yeah, no weirdo that you need to call the police.
Yeah, look at the
So yeah.
Oh, it looks like a. Yeah, you know what it is. Let me go yell at him and tell him to go away.
Okay, I'll talk to the people here.
Electric person, like you know how those I've seen him around town, and that's what it looked like to me. Or maybe I need to sign off on something. Let me just go check and see what it is.
All right. So guys, if you haven't checked my channel yet, it's BiancaMMM. I do all kinds of things. It's mind, motivation, meditation. So I have my meditation videos that I do myself. Like I write the script, I do the recording, and I do like meditations by topic. So if you ever need to like relax and just let it go, you know, relax for anxiety, worry, fear, I have meditations by topic. The motivation part is to help, you know, motivate, stay motivated and make changes. I lost a lot of weight last year. I recreated everything, and
Yeah,
so I have motivational videos. Who was that?
they were selling something. They were trying to sell
Oh.
us pest control.
Wow, at this time, and I'm selling.
It's funny.
I'm selling my channel.
We had our guy over here today, so we're good. We get landscapers. It's funny. It's like, yeah, no deal. But someone said Turtle Boy is an environmental issue. That's what Paula thought. She thought Turtle Boy was like some kind of like save the whale thing. She had no idea.
She's like, I don't know who this turtle was. There was a turtle there in the courtroom. I don't know.
It seems like you should get an in with Paula too. That you get the Brazilian thing going.
Oh my
you
God!
know?
If we did a show in Portuguese, like we would have a lot of
Yeah.
fun. What I wanted
Can you
to do-
imagine that? That would be wild. You could do half of it in English and half in Portuguese, maybe.
Because she has a sense of humor, I can tell you. A lot of Brazilian people
Yeah,
have
you'd
a
have
sense
fun.
of humor. We would have a lot of fun. So what I wanted to do with her, Paula, se você estiver me escutando agora, ó, vem pra cá, menina. What I wanted to do with her is show her like Brian Albert Proctor testifying and ask her opinion. Because I have those videos from last year, and to see her reaction, because they didn't get to see any of that.
Definitely. Turtle Boy played some video for her. I'm trying to remember which one because I didn't watch it all. I just remember some clips were out there. But he definitely did play something like that, like one of the witnesses.
Oh, for her to see the other people.
But I don't think it was that. I think it might have been. I'm trying to think. It's funny how much content we absorb and you forget what you watch, you know?
Absolutely.
But I remember he did play a little video. So it's like that would be actually really good. Yeah. Because she seemed pretty wild out by the video, if I remember. I'm trying to remember who they played. It might have been even Proctor. I don't know.
Yeah. I would have loved to see her reaction. Like,
oh, there it is. I knew the chat would tell us.
Trooper Paul.
It was Trooper Paul, that true TV player. That's what they had. Of course, they had a laugh.
Batallos.
Right. Trooper Paul was just that poor guy. I feel bad. It's not his fault either. They just put him in that position. It's like, the hell are you putting him in this kid in this position?
Yeah.
Well, we've had a great show. What is it? 7:51. We've been almost 2 hours. It went by quickly.
Very quickly. And I thought we wouldn't have a lot to talk about because I was on vacation. I was like, I didn't have a lot of time, but I'm so glad that we had a great time. I had a lot of fun here. It was very relaxing today. Very relaxing.
We just relax. Because now it's so less stressful because Karen's life isn't,
right.
There's that whole thing. You just
no more free Karen Reed.
Karen
Reed is free.
Yeah, Karen Reed is free. It's so much. I mean, now we just got a free Turtle Boy. That's the thing for me. I'm trying to work on and try to get this DA out of there. We're gonna replace him next year, which I'm looking forward to. You have a bunch of social media. I follow you on Facebook as well. I see you have a moderator in your chat, Corinna, who's
Karina's the best.
she just posted the Bianca's Facebook group. So you have a Facebook group. What if people are searching for that? How can they find you on Facebook, on wherever you're at, social media? We know about your YouTube. We got that pinned in our Young Jurks chat. I hope everyone subscribes. Where else can people follow you, Bianca?
Pretty much that. X, Facebook, and YouTube. YouTube is BiancaMMM. I will post my X profile here, name, and then the Facebook group because I have to check. I don't know what it is. I think it's BiancaMMM, but I'm gonna ask Karina and put it here.
I'm in there. I'm part of the group now. I joined the group.
Yay!
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
And we also have a
Appreciate it.
Young Jerks group too. If I don't know, are you in there, Bianca?
I think I'm in
Young
there.
Jerks?
Yeah.
You're in there? Because I know some of your people. I think one of your like supporters post a lot of stuff in there. I've definitely seen Bianca stuff in our Young Jerks group.
It's
But
Karina. Karina is the best. She
she's
works overtime, like behind the scenes, and she's just so helpful.
yeah.
Yeah. She posts
What's
all the
this one?
things.
We'll chat with Mike, Brian LTL, and Jess Machado and Bianca about doing a dog behavior interview if people would like it. Nate.
Dog behavior. I love dogs.
Yeah, I'm big into dog behavior and animal behavior. I love dogs. I work with dogs actually.
I know you do, and I love
Yeah.
that. I
Yeah.
love that.
Not as much anymore. Today was like, it's so weird now when I have days where I have no dog walks. It's like this is the slowest time of year for our business, but
Mhm.
I've cut back big time. I've not replaced customers as
Yeah.
we have a
Well,
lot of
you're very
elderly
busy
customers.
here
Some of them,
too.
yeah. Not only do the dogs pass away, we've had customers pass away a lot recently, older ones.
Oh, that
We
is
have a
so
lot of elderly
sad.
customers, elderly dogs too.
And then what happened?
yeah.
The dogs. The family keeps the dogs. Sometimes.
What is it?
The
Oh, with the
family.
dogs? Yeah.
Mhm.
Sometimes we're in a couple doggy wills. Let's put it that way. We might actually adopt. There was one recently where I wanted to. I really did, but he just wasn't going to fit with not only our dog, but other dogs that come in and sit here. The best thing about our little dog now, Charlie, he's so well trained. He gets along with every dog that comes in here. But you don't want to have a problem dog when you have other dogs coming to sit. So it just wasn't going to work. But he ended up in a great place with his daughter, and basically the daughter of the mom. So it turned out good. She was reluctant at first, but it ended up. I'm happy for that dog. But yeah, that sometimes we worry about them. It's like you get all worried. What happens if the owner passes away? What's going to happen to the dog? And we have a couple. We have one elderly customer. She's very elderly, like 90 plus, 90 late, like not even mid 90s, like late 90s, and she's still got the dog, and we just if something happens to her, we'll see what happens with our dog. You never know.
Yeah.
Depends on the
I
family.
need for my dog. I would like to get a female. What is it? The dog that he likes? Not Bichon. The Cuban dog. It's like because he has a type. Whisper has a type. He likes the little fluffy females, and then he has an attitude with Frenchies. He does not like Frenchies at all. He doesn't like their faces or anything about
No
them.
French bulldog.
No
You gotta get
Frenchies.
you gotta get a little white dog. I love the little white dogs. Actually, I've had a couple. Sometimes they can be very scary though. Those little white dogs. You got to be careful.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're funny. Yeah, they have certain ones too. But yeah, like a Shih Tzu maybe. I've had a Shih Tzu. I used to have
Oh,
a Shih
Shih
Tzu.
Tzus are cute.
Yeah,
What's that other dog that I'm thinking of? How are you gonna know?
Pomeranian maybe.
No, not a Bichon.
Chihuahua.
No. They're from Cuba, I think. Whatever. I'll figure it out. That would be the
Was that a
perfect dog.
Maltipoo? I have no idea.
Maltipoo's would be great for Whisper
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
York. Everybody's like Maltese.
Yorkie, not a York. Havanese, maybe.
Havanese.
Is that it?
I think so. Yeah. Yes. Havanese is the one that he likes. Whisper loves Havanese.
I'm gonna look
And
up and see what a
I
Havanese.
have
I think I know.
a client who is older too, and she's moving to another state. and her dog would be
Aw.
perfect. Her dog is like black and white, 3 years old female. And I was like, so is your dog going with you?
Oh, that's
She's like,
funny.
yes, my dog is coming with me. I'm like, okay, just asking.
My Charlie is. We think he's a Pekingese, but he. I swear to God, I wouldn't doubt if he has a little Havanese in him because I'm looking at these dogs and it's not exactly the same, but there's a little bit of similarity.
Oh my
Interesting.
god, that is so cute.
Yeah.
No,
I got
literally.
the he could be trouble. This one he is trouble. He's good with other dogs. It's with people that he has issues with. He's
Oh.
gotten way better. He hasn't bitten us in a long time. He
Oh
hasn't
my
bitten anyone in a long time.
god.
Yeah, he used to bite. When we first rescued him, he was a biter.
But like at any point, or just if you were
No,
putting
he
him
wouldn't even
in
give a warning.
leash?
He'd have anxiety and would just bite. And we brought him to another level that we never saw. Like the first time he actually growled, I applauded. I was like, "Oh my god, he growled. He fucking growled." Like cuz that was like now that's what he
Oh.
does now. He'll give a growl if he instead of biting. He'll give you a warning, which you want. You want a dog to give a warning. So, if an idiot's acting up, they know to back off. This dog's not going to take your crap. So that was like huge, but like we've gotten way beyond that. Like he would never. He's a small little dog. He would never let me pick him up for like 3-4
Aw.
years. Now, and for the longest time when I pick him up, he'd let me, but it'd be like I'd still be afraid he's gonna bite me. Like now, just he'll be kissing my face. It's like
Oh.
he voluntarily will jump on my chest when I'm laying on the couch. He would never ever share a couch or lay near you before. So I mean, it just
So
shows you
sweet.
behavior can
That's amazing,
change with
yeah.
environment. Yeah.
Thank God that he feels your love and he feels safe and
Yeah.
he's
We did a lot of
learning.
training with him. He's somebody. I say somebody.
Yes, he's
Somebody.
somebody. He's
Yeah,
somebody.
he's somebody who likes to know what he's supposed to do. He likes the structure. He likes to, you know, at 5 o'clock he starts sitting in front of me waiting for his dinner. He's like, "It's
What?
5:01. Where's my dinner? Where's my
What?
dinner?" At 9 o'clock, 9:30, starts looking at me like, "Oh, can we go out and go to bed? Let's go to bed." Like he likes the structure. He really does, and he likes to follow the rules, even though he's trouble. Even though
How many
the
are
one thing he
actually
likes to get
yours?
into now is the paper. He eats the paper.
They
That's
love
the
the
one thing I
paper.
can't cure
They
that.
love the paper. We ate a dollar bill once. So I was like, all right, $1 is fine, but don't be eating nothing more than that.
Yeah. We've devolved. We're talking about our dogs a lot. I love it. I love it. We could be here all night talking about our dogs. No one wants to hear about our dogs.
The last thing I'll say about my dog.
Yes, go ahead. And
The
then I want to
har-
hear from everyone in the chat if they have a dog or a pet or a cat or a gerbil, whatever you have. I want to hear about it in the chat.
Adorable. So I went to Disney, and that was the hardest thing, was to leave my dog with my friend. She did a great job, of course, but I missed him. Like, I was thinking about him. The last night I was there, I had a nightmare that I wasn't going to see him again. It's bad. Like, I have
Oh,
anxiety.
believe me, I know. That's why I don't travel. It's like the worst thing
Right.
ever.
Right.
Seriously.
I wanted
I
to go to the
That's why
Caribbean.
I say when Charlie passes away, I say no more dogs because I want to be able to
Oh,
travel anxiety free for a little while. And plus, for us, because we do dog sits and dog walks, it's like
you
we
always
still
have
get
those.
the dogs. We get the dogs around us. Just we won't have 24/7 responsibility forever like we do now.
It is. It's a kid. It's a baby,
Another child. Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
And our kid also has a dog too, and sometimes we could take care of her as well. So yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
But I'm
This
back
has been
now.
phenomenal. I'm so glad that you're here. You've been here for over 2 hours now. I'm going to let you go, but I want
Thank
to
you,
thank
guys.
you. Make sure everybody subscribes to Bianca. Please follow her, like, subscribe, follow, do all that good stuff for her. Make sure you hit up all her videos, share them, and hopefully we'll see you back on here, Bianca. I always enjoy having you on the show. Phenomenal tonight. This was great. It was just chill. We had a couple thousand people watching throughout the whole show, basically between our two channels and Facebook and all those other places, and it's been great. Loving it.
Awesome.
People like it. People have enjoyed this too.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate the opportunity, and I'm so glad to see everything you do. You're such a hard worker and deserve all the success. So thank you for having me back. I really appreciate it, Mike. Had a lot of
You
fun.
are too. I'm glad we found each other too, like through this YouTube thing. And you're a hard worker too. Like you put up that video, you just edited the crap out of it, and it was so good tonight. I just gotta say you're an amazing guest, and I'm glad that we keep having you on. Thank you so much, Bianca, and I hope everyone subscribes to you. And let's talk later, like maybe later tonight, tomorrow. I want to hit you up. You know what I want to talk to you about. You just say yes. You know what
Yes.
I was at. Yeah. All right.
Great question. All right. Bye,
See you later,
guys.
Bianca.
See you
We'll talk
later.
soon. Bye now.
Bye bye.
Bye. She's great. That was so good. I love having her on the show. She's really just a ray of sunshine, really smart, and really good with these videos. The last thing I think I'm going to talk about quickly is that interview last night, the DA's race. That was a very interesting interview. One of the great things about it is that she told the story. This is Juna Perkins, who is running for district attorney against Michael Morrissey, and she told a great story about how recently Michael Morrissey is basically saying that he still is going with the theory that Sandra Birchmore committed suicide, and how wild that is. And the video, someone clipped it last night, put it on Twitter. It kind of went viral on Twitter. We also clipped it and put it on our YouTube. You can watch that. She also stated that she would be open to reassigning state troopers like Yuri Buchanan, basically, giving him the boot. So Yuri's job is probably at risk right now if Juna Perkins is elected as district attorney. And I've seen a lot of commentary from people on YouTube and Facebook and Twitter. So I'm going to throw my 2 cents in because I think I'm much more informed than most of you, I have to say, because I've been covering Massachusetts politics in some form or following it for decades, and specifically, like, writing about it for over a decade with Dig Boston. And I've been involved in a lot of public policy questions, ballot questions and ballot initiatives and campaigns, whether it was writing about it, interviewing. I've interviewed probably like 50 to 100 electeds on the show, 4 U.S. Congress people, a U.S. Senator, a DA. You get it. I have a lot of political and electoral experience in Massachusetts. And I'm watching this campaign and I see people say, we need a stronger candidate. We need somebody who's going to win. And I got to say, if I'm handicapping this race right now, the Morrissey race, let's pretend that nobody else enters the race, right? And it's Michael Morrissey versus these 1, 2, 3 out of the candidates. So basically 4-person race, right? If I have to place the odds, 75% chance Juna Perkins, who was on my show last night, is the next DA of Norfolk County. I don't think Michael Morrissey has a chance of winning. I'd say his chance of winning is probably like 5%. Like he's got a poll number 4%, so I'll give him 5%. I'll give him 1 extra point. I'd say he's got a 5% chance of being reelected. I do actually believe he might actually run. I know a lot of people don't think he's going to run for reelection. I think he's just wild enough to run. I think he's got enough ego and enough to prove that he will actually consider running. But I think he's got no chance of being reelected. I think the race is really between Juna Perkins and this other former prosecutor that hasn't really done much campaigning yet. And I say that Juna Perkins is likely to be elected because my experience is watching campaigns. When someone starts a campaign 1 year out and they have experience against a highly unpopular incumbent like Michael Morrissey, and they're getting campaign donations and they're actually out there knocking on the door. They got a website. They're raising money. She's already raised over $60,000. That's the front runner. Juna Perkins right now is who I would actually bet on to be the next DA of Massachusetts. So think about that, people. And I also feel like people were hanging on some of her language and words and not being upset, kind of being a little bit too picky with some of the things that she said. And I think we're not going to get everything we want, especially before she's elected, before she knows every detail of every single situation. But I think she's reasonable. I think she'll be much better than Michael Morrissey. And people are like, oh, I think she's corrupt. I think she could be influenced. She knows too many. No, this woman's a former prosecutor and defense attorney. I do not feel like she's a political person at all. She's somebody that is not political. And I think that's what actually some of you are feeling, is that she's not a politician. She's coming on my show. The questions aren't pre-scripted. She has no idea what I'm asking. She has no rules. And she comes on in a very highly charged environment, answers every question. And her questions aren't perfectly scripted for the Free Karen Reed movement because she's not a politician. And she's just being honest and telling you the truth. And that's what I like about her. She's honest. And the other thing I like about her is she listens. And she's smart, she's experienced, she's her whole life has been about advocating for victims, both as a prosecutor and as a defense attorney. That's what she's dedicated her life to. So I think she's and she's got experience in running prosecutor office. So I think she's perfect, actually. I know that some people have doubts, especially some of the language she used when she said vigilante. I got it. I get it. I get why people get a little cautious, but really listen to what she said. Number one, she was the first one in the race to call for Michael Morrissey to resign. She was the first one to call out the handling of the Sandra Birchmore case. She was the first one in before Karen was found acquitted to call out the handling of the Karen Reed defense. One of the questions came up is like, why didn't you speak out sooner? She had put out a statement. She had come on my show. So she's actually been leading both in like the statements and the policies, but as well as the campaign. And I do believe she's the front runner. And I think the only way that she doesn't win is if Michael Morrissey announces very soon that he's not running for re-election. And someone that we didn't expect, maybe a billionaire, some rich guy that has all these political connections and money connections that can raise a lot of money, or a rich woman, whoever it may be, might run. But I got to say, it's not very likely. Number one, they generally need to be an attorney. So, you need to have some legal experience. And I just don't see it. I'm very doubtful that's going to happen. But you never know. And I'd say that's the only way she doesn't win this race. Honestly, she is the odds-on favorite right now. And it's so early. Normally, you wouldn't predict something like that. But I'm telling you, I've seen it. I've seen it before. And she's getting donations. She's getting endorsements. She just talked about last night where Susan Harrington, Canton Select Board, who's very popular, who got way more votes than a 30-year incumbent in Canton, endorsed Juna Perkins. You saw Rita Lombardi last night. It seemed like she was endorsing Juna Perkins. That's what someone who's going to win a campaign. That's early indicators. Juna Perkins is the strongest campaign. And so I'm going to continue to have her on the show. And Craig, the other serious, he's the only other serious candidate. I think he's actually the second most likely to be elected for the district attorney. And I'd say Morrissey probably has the only other chance. I'd say he's a distant third in his race, which is very unusual. You never expect a first time candidate to be the one that's actually the front runner. That's what I'm saying. Juna Perkins. This is a very unusual race. So that's where I stand on it. And that's my opinion. And I just want to give you the feedback because I think some people are kind of missing the boat. All right. So what I'm going to do right now, I didn't get to play it last night. I said I was going to play it. I never played it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to end the show playing Michael Morrissey Must Resign. This is DA candidate Juna Perkins. And again, the first one in this campaign. I haven't seen anybody else in this race ask for Michael Morrissey's resignation. And for a former prosecutor and someone who's actually a defense attorney right now in Massachusetts to put out this statement is big. And it shows that she's not gonna, play it easy. She's going to do what's the right thing. And she waited. She did wait until the Karen Reed case was over. And then she came out with this immediately. And it was the smart thing to do for her campaign. And not only that, it was the correct thing to do for Norfolk County. And this is one of the reasons I am liking her campaign. I'm not endorsing anyone yet. I want to talk to all the candidates. I want to get them all on the show. If there's a Republican, Craig, I would love to get Craig on the show. But I definitely am feeling Juna Perkins because number one, she comes on the shows over and over again, responds quickly to my invites, answers every friggin' question, is nice, professional, caring. This is what I really care about. She cares. I know this. I can already feel it. She cares about this shit. Don't let it kid you. And I know that some people want to be a little more informed on every detail. I get it. But you also have to realize she's working full time. She's campaigning full time. Investigating Turtle Boy, all the details, that's not what she's doing. She's working 80 hours a week right now between her full-time office that she runs, she's an attorney. So she's running a business and she's full-time campaigning on weekends and nights. That's what her life is right now. So I'm just going to end the show by playing the video I forgot to play last night. And before I do that, I definitely have to thank the super chats. I'm going to read some of the super chats. And I also want to thank our moderators, our mod team. They're phenomenal over here. I want to thank MJ, Sarah, and Shock and Hara, Jeno, Stephanie, and Scott McGinnis. Thank you so much for always being here and supporting us. Big part of our success here. We over 50,000 subs. I don't even know what number it is. It's over 50, and it just keeps going up. We had our best month ever. And a big part of that is the community. Some people get a little upset. They hit me up and they're like, "Oh, your moderator did that." I got one of those last night. They got all mad at me, telling me like I should jump in. You know what? I leave it to my mods. They know how to run this community here, and I think they've done a good job. And I hear from a lot of people in the chat that they like our community and like our mods and appreciate how they handle things. So I leave it to them. And I really appreciate that they do that for me, so I don't have to focus on it. And I feel like very confident in how they do it. So thank you to them. All right, let's read the super chats. Let me get to the super chats quickly. Oh, you know what? I got to do it. I had a great. I think that was last night. Was that last night? Let me check. I'm getting confused. I'm starting to forget things. I'll blame it on old age. I am getting old. But I'm wondering if it was last night or the night before. Oh, I did. I thanked all of them. Catherine, I thanked her. That was the most recent one. I did get that Venmo. That was actually 2 days ago. So I did do that. I'm good. I'm good on the Venmos and the cat. See, I am forgetting. I did do that last night. All right. So all I got is super chats, which makes it easy. Laura, I want to thank you. She says, shame on Matt Gutman. Terrible questions asked. It's funny. I gave him crap about his first special that he did. I like Matt Gutman in a way because I saw him during the LA stuff and the police were he handled it well. But yeah, I didn't like this. I agree, Laura. It was not what he did here with the McAlberts. It was not the best journalism. Taylor Cook sent $5 and said, This ish makes me irate. The only person that matters at a trial is the accused. If the victim comes into play, you're putting the cart before the horse. It's an interesting comment. I'm trying to make heads or tails of it. Taylor, thank you for the $5 super chat. Rescue Randy sent $5 and said, did Bianca cover how and when they drank water while on the stand during trial 1? I think she actually might have covered some of that. Yeah, on some of her videos. She did a lot of coverage of all the testimony in the videos. So definitely, you could check back. She's got some phenomenal videos from trial 1 and 2. So definitely go check them out, Rescue Randy. Definitely subscribe to her. She does a great show. She also does some other topics too. mindfulness. I really like her content. Nice person too. MMG Enrichment sent $9.99. Says, Paula, we love you. Support for Michigan. You are so smart, strong, and beautiful. XOXO. Thank you. Well, thank you, MMM. Let me say that again. MMG Enrichment. Thank you so much for the donation. And yes, we all love Paula. She is phenomenal on Twitter there. Desire for Civil Discourse at $10. It said, has anyone mentioned that B. Albert included the ME as people in on the conspiracy, the ME that didn't concur with the police and resisted their attempts to change the conclusion? I know, right? Like, come on. The ME that didn't concur with the police. So the ME that didn't find exactly how disingenuous, because the ME didn't find any cause. It didn't, make any ruling on how John died. So there you go. That ME was not supportive of the McAlberts, of their narrative or of the DA's narrative. That was another reason I believe Karen was found not guilty, right? So again, just a lot of examples of Brian Albert not really being honest, right? Not really being honest. Great point. A desire for civil discourse. Thank you for the donation tonight. And thank you, Chante's Inferno. I was going to say Dante's, but Chante's Inferno says, great work, Bianca. I concur on that one, Chante. Chante's Inferno. Thank you so much for the super chat tonight. Australian $2, I believe that is. Thank you. Thank you from down under. Yeah, that's it, right? That's all of it. Oh, I did have to read something too. This is what I was remembering. I was thinking it was a Venmo I forgot. It's actually something else. It's better I didn't do it last night. This is the better show to do it on. So let me see if I could find it again. Hold on a second. Okay. All right, I got a message from somebody. Her name is Nikki, and she's the daughter Nikki. She wanted to wish a happy birthday to Sparky. Sparky. I love that name, Sparky. That must have been the best name to grow up with. Like you're a spark plug. Sparky. Let me drink my coffee and get so I can say it. All right. So I got to say happy birthday to Sparky. That's his nickname. So he didn't grow up with that, but I guess that's his nickname he picked up. So Sparky from his daughter, Nikki. And I want to thank Sparky for watching the Young Jurks. I guess he's very dedicated to watching our show. And I want him to have a great birthday with Sam and the family. I guess the Sam and the family and Sparky all watched the Young Jurks. And Nikki reached out. She wanted me to say happy birthday to Sparky and Sam. And I hope you have a great happy birthday. And congratulations to Sparky for supporting Free Karen Read. We were right? So have a great birthday. I guess they're all in the UK. They're all watching from the UK. So happy birthday, Sparky. I hope you got to see that live. If not, maybe your daughter will let you know and you can watch it on the replay. Am I the new Delilah? No, I'm not. Delilah was awesome. I love Delilah. I am not as good as Delilah. I'm not as smooth as Delilah either, right? All right, I'm gonna head out, but before I do, we gotta watch. This got me fired up too. I gotta say about Juna Perkins. And you know what else gets me fired up? If Michael Morrissey decides to run, I hope he does. Like, part of me wants him to resign. I think he should. I think he should be disgraced. He shouldn't run for re-election. But part of me really wants him to run because I will have so much fun covering him trying to run for re-election. And Microdots has thrown down, and he posted a comment about this, a post on Twitter. I think it was today or yesterday, noting that if Michael Morrissey runs for re-election, he is going to go wild putting out the campaign videos against Morrissey. And that's what I'm looking forward to. I can't wait to see what Microdots does if Michael Morrissey decides to run for re-election. I think between the two of us, we're going to have a lot of fun. So, hey, it's either fun or Morrissey resigns. Either way, it's good, right? Can you imagine how much fun we'll all have? Think about that. If Michael, don't you almost want him to run? I want to hear from the chat, from all the people watching. Do you want Michael Morrissey to run so we can have fun? Because it will be fun. It will be fun trying to see him run for re-election. All right, this is what I got pumped up about. She put out this statement. This was a strong statement. I also like that she did it in the traditional sense, in a written statement, through email, through a press release, like most campaigns do. But she also read it and put it out in a video form, which I think is very smart to be doing early on. And I think that she already sees the power of doing this, because this thing pretty much went viral for her in terms of how, smaller Facebook page still is. It's going to grow. These politician campaigns, it always gets the largest, a week before the campaign. And it's already growing. It's already being shared. Her Facebook is growing because she put out this video and it got shared everywhere. It was shared on Instagram, TikTok. People were just grabbing it themselves and posted it on Twitter. It got a lot of views. We did the same thing. We put it right up on our YouTube. And this is what I'm playing. I'm playing it from our YouTube. It's got a lot of views just on our YouTube. Never mind her Facebook account. So definitely make sure you follow her. Juna Perkins. It's DJUNA. JunaPerkins.com. She's got a website, but you can also follow her on Facebook, on Twitter. She's on the social media. Definitely make sure you follow her. All right, let's do this. A couple notes too. I'll definitely be posting some more content, hopefully from Grace Curley Show, maybe her podcast link on our social media later today, and maybe some video content from that later on this weekend on our YouTube, hopefully. Tomorrow, I'm going to be live at 4 p.m. with Potentially Criminal, Sean. He's an attorney. I'm looking forward to being on his show. He's been on my show as a guest once. This time I'm going on his show to be a guest. We're going to talk a lot about Turtle Boy and Karen Reed and the jury intimidation and all the trolls. He's very knowledgeable about Kate Peter and all that crew. So it's going to be a kind of a fun conversation to have with a host where I'm the guest and he knows a lot about this. So that should be fun tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern time. Check that out. Hoping to take off Sunday. Girlfriend's birthday. So I'm hoping to take all of Sunday off, even though I may have a small part with John Como. He's got something going on, Canton Chronicle at 7 p.m. People should check out. I'm going to try to pre-record something for my part of that, but you should definitely check that out on Sunday night at 7 p.m. John Como, Canton Chronicle. You may have seen him with his friend Eric there, who apparently may not be being charged now, which is also new breaking news. They had a beer, it looks like, or a drink with Lucky Lawfren. They got a picture with him. So definitely we'll check that out on Sunday night at 7 p.m. as well. I want to thank everyone. Thank you so much for supporting all the viewers, all the diehards. I was very happy last night. We were against some major competition, and to see all you still sticking here was thank you so much. I love my diehards, no matter what we're doing, to see you here. And tonight as well, thank you so much. So let's finish with this, and then I'll see you hopefully tomorrow with Sean on Sean's channel, Potentially Criminal, tomorrow, 4 p.m. Eastern time. Here she is, Juna Perkins. She's asking, this is an attorney, this is a serious person, asking Michael Morrissey to resign from office. And she tells you why.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Juna Perkins. 2026. This morning, I called for the resignation of District Attorney Michael Morrissey, and I want to tell you why.
Of course, I hit the wrong button. So let's start that again. We're just going to start that again.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Juna Perkins, and I'm running for Norfolk County District Attorney in September of 2026. This morning, I called for the resignation of District Attorney Michael Morrissey, and I want to tell you why. Yesterday, a Norfolk County jury found Karen Reed not guilty for the death of John O'Keefe in a case that captured international attention. A Boston police officer, family member, and friend of so many is dead. Meanwhile, the erosion of trust caused by this disastrous prosecution resulted in a crisis with an impact that extends far beyond the borders of Norfolk County. I want to highlight a few important points. First, no experienced prosecutor would ever have charged Karen Reed with second-degree murder in the absence of stronger evidence about how John O'Keefe died, and in light of compelling evidence that Reed was too intoxicated to form the intent required to convict her of murder. Charging someone without a good faith basis to believe the Commonwealth can meet the high standard of proof beyond a reasonable doubt is simply unethical. I've not spoken to a single current or former prosecutor, not one of my former colleagues, who believed the evidence supported this charge. 2. D.A. Morrissey's publication prior to the trial of a video in which he publicly vouched for the credibility of his police investigators, including now disgraced Trooper Michael Proctor, violated the Massachusetts Rules of Professional Conduct for prosecutors. This is unconscionable behavior for a district attorney. 3. D.A. Morrissey knew or should have known of Trooper Michael Proctor's unethical and biased behavior prior to the first trial, and he failed to take appropriate remedial action to prevent Proctor's conduct from jeopardizing the O'Keefe prosecution and other criminal investigations like the murder of Anna Walsh in Cohasset. 4. The district attorney's $14 million budget after salaries leaves only $2.7 million for all other operational expenses, including rent, utilities, equipment for 144 full-time employees, and direct case expenses. The district attorney has spent more than 1/3 of his entire annual operating budget for the special prosecutor and expert witnesses on the retrial alone. Rather than reassessing the evidence after the first trial and seeking a more pragmatic outcome in line with the evidence that would free up resources for other cases, D.A. Morrissey doubled and tripled down on using every resource possible to prove he was right rather than seeking justice. 5. In the past few years, Norfolk County has been the site of an alarming number of high-priority cases, aside from the death of John O'Keefe. The sexual exploitation and murder of Sandra Birchmore, the murder of Anna Walsh in Cohasset, and the recent hate-motivated attack on a kosher grocery store in Brookline. There have been 2 apparent murder-suicides in Norfolk County recently, a man in Dover who allegedly murdered his whole family when bankruptcy loomed, and another just last weekend in Milton. In another case, a man allegedly shot the mother of his child just a few months ago in Milton. And every day in Norfolk County, kids struggle with bullying and sexual exploitation at school. District Attorney Morrissey's exclusive focus on the prosecution of Karen Reed has come at the expense of all these other families and of other efforts that could have been made to prevent crime in our community. 6. Worst of all, Morrissey's decisions in the Karen Reed case gave John O'Keefe's family false hope about the outcome. For 3 years, the family of John O'Keefe has patiently hoped and waited for the promised outcome, riding the emotional roller coaster of every new scandal and facing conflict at the courthouse every day for months at a time, only to have their hopes for justice dashed not once, but twice. Beyond the grief from the death itself, this experience in the criminal justice system causes devastating emotional harm. The job of the district attorney is to empower victims of crime, not to make them pawns in the district attorney's quest for validation. District Attorney Morrissey's conduct can only be explained by incompetence or ego. Neither have any place in a district attorney's office. It's time for Morrissey to go. Thank you for listening. I'm Juna Perkins, and I'm running for district attorney.